Earth's flames fill the sky. It's just your frame of mind. Strike the match, ignite your life. Spread your wings in the night. Anticipate lonely roads. Expand your frame of mind. Don't ever lose your soul. By the harmony, dissonance within your voice. When you smile, you burn down absent walls in your mind. Happiness is all I really need. Don't fear the darkness, it's your light that shines so brightly.
Can't hold you back from destiny. It's your time now. Set yourself free. Can't hold you back from destiny. It's your time now. Destiny. It's your time now. Set yourself free. Can't hold you back from destiny. It's your time now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Week 6 of BSL Rocket League action. As always, I'm your host, Jarv Jam. Together with our league, we'll be bringing you the latest of the Baltic's rocket carball scene, I suppose. Our league, how have you been? How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's been a wonderful week, Jam, and it's been a wonderful start to the weekend with plenty of Rocket League esports, great action, and it's always like slipping into a comfy pair of slippers here in the BSL. It's always fun action. I know the chat sometimes comes to just hang about and just watch some chilled out Rocket League, and I hope that we're going to have some excellent stuff today because there's some pretty interesting matchups, and we might potentially have our 2 LAN candidates by the end of today.
It is absolutely possible. Just like with RLCS and Rival Series, there have already been decisions made, places decided, the losers unfortunately have to wave goodbye. Here, a little bit more positive, although still the battle for the bottom spots, or the battle to avoid the bottom spots, of course, is pretty fierce. Before we get there, a quick reminder where this all culminated, and of course that'll be on November 23rd and 24th in Tallinn for yet another HyperTown Expo. If you want to get yourself some tickets, you can go to HyperTown.pro and check out exactly what's available. What can you do over there? What will you be able to see? And those are Rocket League, CSGO, and Guns of Boom finals right there on that big stage. If you're going to grab yourself some tickets, if you're a student, if you're coming as a family or as a group of people, you even get discounts. And if you want to participate in a cosplay challenge or just watch cosplay, of course, you can just admire the crafts that folks are bringing in through. Those are not only happening over at HyperTown as well, but you can also participate. The details and how to register for either the cosplay show, the cosplay alley, or any other art that you want to showcase at the event over in Tallinn. All of that is also at hypertown.pro. If you can make it, it's not a big deal. You can still participate and win some great prizes. Every single day, the CSGO skill contest is happening, as well as Wednesday, starting at 7 p.m. local time. You can participate in the PUBG skill contest. The prizes are some BSL swag.
That's how I'm supposed to pronounce it. Some swag. See?
Oh, some swag. I say. Pip, cheerio. And the big prize, of course, is a Samsung monitor. So that's a pretty good one. So
that's a pretty good prize.
That's a great one. If you want to check out exactly what you need to do, how you can participate, check the standings as well, you can go to BESL.pro. That's the name of our league, BESL.pro, and check out the details there as well. But our league, this gives us a chance to then switch on to the main part of today's show, and that is, of course, Rocket League. I'd like to quickly check this.
Really?
Oh yeah, I mean,
I wasn't prepared.
Would you like to do some Apex Legends, team fight tactics? I would gladly play some Star Wars Battlefront too, but
they're all lovely games, but Rocket League, I feel good with Rocket League. I think I can manage.
All right, I think it's a deal. So, quick look at the standings. First spot right now occupied by Team Black Diamond, but most likely that will change by the end of the day. Pure based on the fact that the Team Black Diamond are not playing today. They can't change their standings whatsoever. But what can change their standings is, of course, Time Chasers sitting in that second spot, just waiting to leapfrog above their opponents. Top 2 spots are going to land in Tallinn, the one I've just mentioned a moment ago. Third and fourth spot, as well as 5th and 6th, will be staying in the league, and the bottom ones will be relegated at 7th and 8th. So back to the boys, Imperial, Bad Dudes, and Small Brain. Specifically, back to the boys and Imperial right now in a battle to try and get to LAN. Imperial, by this point, I'm afraid might actually be out. Haven't we actually figured that out last week, or does my memory?
Well, the only team. No, the only team that can potentially usurp Time Chasers and/or Team Black Diamond is Backflip Boys, and
all right.
It's pretty apt that we've got the Backflip Boys series that we're seeing today as last on. They actually face up against Imperial, and if Imperial win that series, then we have our LAN finalists. But let's not forget the other side of the table as well, of course, because as you say, the bottom 2 in the league, they have to re-qualify. They don't get automatic entry into next year. And so post-game strong, Mind Games Esports, they're 0-5 each. Their chances, as things are, don't look great. They both played today. Mind Games is our first game up against Bad Dudes, post-game strong, face Team Small Brain. Very curious series, both of those, since those are all 4 teams in the bottom half of the table. But for Bad Dudes and Small Brain, their goal is clear. They can keep themselves safe in the league if both of them win those games, because 0-6, there's no coming back from that.
Unfortunately not. So let's check those matches that will be happening today, and there is a lot at stake for both the top teams and the bottom teams. Bad Dudes facing off against Mind Games Esports. This would be a coin flip for me, or even like 60-40 in favor of Bad Dudes. I don't want to say on the Mind Games Esports, they've been fighting some tough teams so far. Really, their only remaining 2 games in the season right now are the Bad Dudes, and next week they're playing against Post Game Strong. So those would be the easiest matches they've had to deal with so far. They've played the top 6 by this point, really top 5, I suppose, because right now Bad Dudes are around those parts. The good news for Mind Games Esports, though, they are reinforced with KK, our inaugural BSL Rocket League champion, together with the professional ball chaser. That was the team of KK, Why Not Party, and Phoenix. So quality coming into Mind Games Esports squad.
Pretty good sub.
I mean, almost as good as it can get, but we've seen how Chuvas was playing earlier today, in the season rather, and you couldn't always get a good player, just transplant it into a team and expect results. So one of the things I'm really curious to see is exactly how KK will fit into Mind Games Esports.
Yeah, so for those of you who didn't watch that whole event unfolding, Chuvas subbed in at Imperial, which of course they find themselves inside the top 4, but there's no chance of getting to land. So very much middle of the road. They're going to be safe and secure in the BESL for another season. Chuvas, we knew him from WeIte last year. Runners-up to Professional Ball Chasers, Bruiser, excellent in the air, super great synergy with his teammates. You can always find him on the end of a ball to score a goal, and if he's not doing that, then he's more than likely creating something. He was more of an anchor role, though, for Imperial, which was very strange, very un-Chuvas-like. And with KK, we know him as someone who's a bit more of a creator. Professional Ball Chasers is a little bit more of a set striker, creator, sort of midfield bruiser type configuration, and KK was that creator back in the day. It's going to be very interesting to see how he ends up with Mind Games, because subs can either go one way or the other, Jam, as far as I can see. They can either meld into the team seamlessly, not really have that much of an impact, or we have the classic super sub, the wonder sub here that we have in the BSL that was made so famous by Krysic just last season, actually, and he ended up becoming a permanent roster change, actually, by the end of the season. Mind Games have not won a game, or they've not won a series all season. I do not believe that they will be winning a series all season, even with the help of KK. Bad Dudes have shown that against teams in the bottom 4, they're pretty comfortable. It's only teams in the top 4 which they've struggled against. In fact, they've struggled a lot. They've been 3-0 swept twice by the 2 teams that they faced.
Well, funny that you speak about the super sub or just a permanent sub. Bad Dudes and Mind Games Esports rosters on your screens. Dr. Zun, Halum, and One Skunk, once again representing that team. Kobe Jack was initially one of the players on that Bad Dudes roster, but seemingly that they've now made almost a permanent change to One Skunk. And really, by this point, I don't see the need for them to change. Yeah, maybe they haven't had the best season so far, but One Skunk, there's no need to change a player when seemingly right now everything's working fine for them. It's a fully Estonian squad, so that also helps them a lot. Outside of Mind Games Esports, of course, MacGyver, Flake, and KK. That'll be their best chance, I feel like, all the season of getting something done. And just like we said, our league, I feel like for KK, the best chance to slot into MG would be to play that more creative from defense to midfield, not exactly being the one who's receiving the passes on the other end of the field. For that, I think that Flake might still continue performing his role as he usually is performing. He's usually on the striking end of Mind Games Esports attacks.
You know, as much as I have Bad Dudes to go ahead and win this one, I don't think it's going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's going to be a 5-game thriller, honestly, because even the type of sub filling in for the type of player that they are filling in for, It's a very different situation between Chuvas and KK. Chuvas was filling in for Tagmata, quite literally that anchor role player for Imperial. So Chuvas was basically the square peg trying to be put into the round hole, so to speak. KK's replacing Timotheus, and Timotheus is a lot more of a creative style player on the offense, mostly trying to feed Flake, who's been in top form so far this season, despite Mind Games not really doing that well overall. I think he's going to fit in a lot better than Chuvas did in Imperial, but he's still a sub, and I'm not sure how much time he has had with this roster. I guess the proof will be in the pudding, right? Let's get into game number 1 in this best of 5. Remind you, if you're new here at the BSL, at this very late stage of the season, all best of 5s throughout league play, so first to 3 wins earns you a point on the board. And one skunk. Instantly going to throw this one up high. Definitely looking like a permanent change to that roster. Double committing net. KK with his first save back this season. And KK with his first goal back this season. I dare not call it a full court carry because it was pretty simple. Should Dr. Zool have done better? Probably.
It honestly feels like KK's and Dr. Zool's cars were completely differently spec'd. It's the speed that KK got on that attack, even with Zool chasing him, just incomparable. KK was there first, KK got the job done, and it doesn't get better for a sub to start their first game like this. Individual effort, but immediately puts Mind Games on board.
Oh, look at this. Oh, KK trying to go for the double fake. Halloum having none of it. MacGyver taken out. And Dr. Zool with a bit of boost to expend here. Throws this one towards the net. KK tries to get it. Oh, Dr. Zool just millimeters away from the double touch. And Halloum fails to follow up. MacGyver tries to flick it past one skunk. But the defense holds strong. The feels bad backflip coming up. Not that it matters much. He's got 0 boost. Dr. Zool continues the offensive. Flakesy with the lofted ball out. MacGyver finally completes the clearance down into the far corner. Takes out Dr. Zool as well. Light on defense are the bad dudes. Halloum comes to the rescue once again. And oh, Dr. Zool once again. Awful defensive positioning, Jam. And Flakesy capitalizes this time.
Yeah, this wasn't that good. We just don't see bad dudes in a defense solidly. And Dr. Zool, seemingly by that point, just returning on that flank, not expecting the shot. And in any other situation for bad dudes, this should have been an easy save, but they seemingly put themselves in that position where they just can't reach it. Their attack's still looking solid. They're going on the orange end of the field and trying to put a couple of shots. Is just that so far it hasn't connected, and Mind Games Esports slowly but surely are accruing that lead.
I've missed KK. I've missed KK. And you can see how much his influence is already starting to affect Mind Games. So much more confident on the ball. So much more offensively creative as well. This bad dude's defense, which, as I say, they've been pretty much untroubled against teams in the bottom 4 so far this season. Mind Games going into this particular round of matches second to last. They've not won a series all season long. Flakesy with the bump in net. And, well, a new partnership in the making? Perhaps Timotheus is going to be sweating his brow.
It could be as well. Wow, Flakesy did so much to clear the net for KK. It was already a great aerial dribble. But Flakesy removed 2 players. Initially, he bumped the player going into the position, and then, of course, removing the goalie completely, so the bad dudes didn't have a chance. And honestly, I feel like with KK on the field, Flakesy is going to bloom into an even better player. He will try to show off in front of KK, so expecting to see something really flashy from the Flakesy.
Yeah, a reminder to anyone who isn't aware of KK, we're talking about a reigning BESL champion here, of course, part of the professional ball chasers outfit that has, of course, gone on to become the Time Chasers. Only Why Not Party, the survivor of the switchover. KK, up high, dances over Dr. Zool. Flakesy to the backboard. MacGyver goes up high. He tries to get in on the action, but as so often this season, sadly, not able to convert. To be fair, I don't really think that MacGyver needs to stretch himself too much, Jam, because quite frankly, KK and Flakesy are having oodles of fun themselves upfield.
Hey, come on, you don't want to exclude MacGyver from all the fun. MacGyver also wants some fun. Otherwise, it's just like the smaller brother just watching as his older brothers are playing, and I mean, he also wants on the fun, so let him have it. The team currently in the lead. and looking pretty solidly. MacGyver can just clean up when the cleanup's needed, and he can be almost absolutely sure that the Mind Games Esports will be there behind him in case he does make a miss.
Flakesy with the pop on, but Dr. Zool probably tries to be clever about it, but fails spectacularly. MacGyver around the corner. Where's KK? Not able to commit on this occasion. Halloum. KK, so confident is he that he's faking on the defensive anticipatory moves, I guess you could call it. Flakesy with the infield pass, and MacGyver flies in, unable to connect. One Skunk gets there first. KK has an open net to aim for, and he misses it. That's possibly... I mean, they're literally peppering the net for fun at this point, Jam. They don't need to score because they're creating so many good opportunities that they're bound to outscore whatever bad dudes can score on them. And even then, bad dudes have really hardly created any good opportunities for themselves. I realise I'm rambling, but the more I think about it, the more bad dudes look a little bit hopeless at the moment.
This seemingly right now they are looking as if they don't have a good idea of what to do. I feel like they had a good start before the goals started rolling in. Maybe even after the first goal, they had some good chances. It's just that the longer this game went, the Mind Games Esports looked much more solid, much more free in their actions, and the bad dudes are kept sweating more and more and more, and this is how they still don't have any results. This is how this once again drops in front of a net, and Mind Games Esports continue to increase their lead. This is again defense. Who else but Dr. Zool? Something about Dr. Zool's positioning in this game just does not cut it, especially when Mind Games Esports reinforced by KK.
I think we need a surgeon in the house, because there is some serious issues in this defense that need correcting. KK on the offensive once again, mercifully for bad dudes. Time running out. A chance to at least reassess what on earth just happened. And are they going to get the consolation goal? No, MacGyver was there in net. A very, very comfortable victory for Mind Games Esports, minus Timotheus, plus KK. And wow, this actually surprises me, Jam.
Yeah.
Equal amount of shots on target for both teams, and yet 4-0. How did that happen?
It's, I think the shots that we've seen were just not threatening enough. You didn't see the players coming in bunches for the bad dudes, no follow-ups. One shot, you can usually get a shot, but you need to follow up that shot. If it's not in the net, then you need a second player attempting, a third player attempting. And just really was not working for them. Mind Games Esports, I can't exactly say that they've been working their passes either. If you look at that, they have 4 goals, but only one of them was assisted. So KK was doing a lot of his own. Really, he was doing a lot of his own. He assisted Flakes on one of these goals. So for Mind Games Esports, it's still a lot of that. Now it's just individual quality shining through. Of course, no questions about KK's quality. And Felix has been already showing throughout the season that he perhaps is... It could be even getting on a different team, a team perhaps with bigger seasonal aspirations, because he is that shining beacon on the Mind Games Esports, I feel.
I want to see more from One Skunk. I'm going to put it out there. Shocked Pikachus across the board. 0, 0, 0, 0. Barely scraping above 100 points. Again, if you're in and around that area, it means you're simply not touching the ball enough. You're not getting involved in the play. I realise that there is unseen work behind the scenes that is unrewarded in Rocket League due to the current points structure and how points are gifted. It's why we don't pay too much attention to it, but when you're going around 100, it is something to pay attention to, and hopefully we will see more from One Skunk. Hopefully we will see better defense from Dr. Zool. It did seem to me, at least, that Halloum was doing a lot of the midfield box-to-box running, and he needs some help up there.
The more players, the better, really, our league. And it's the whole of the bad dude side who just they don't have a certainty of how they're going to move, how they're going to do, what they're going to do with the ball the moment it leaves their half. And that's, I feel like, what's killing a lot of these attacks.
Okay, decent option here. Off the backboard from KK. Of course, Professional Ball Chaser's backboard defense was pretty solid, if I recall, from last season. So he knows all about it. One Skunk. Halloum tries to slip it over the top of MacGyver, who actually I noticed is in an Octane today. Different from his usual Batmobile. And One Skunk, I sent him a challenge. I said, get more involved. And he did. It's a goal. 1-0 to Bad Dudes.
Mind Games Esports just were a tad too late on the rotations. Bad Dudes set up a couple of floating balls, and they were always first to them. From that angle, I did not expect OneSkunk to put it on target, but he absolutely did. Fortunately, straight off the kickoff, the ball goes to Mind Games Esports, and they're immediately setting up. Ooh, not a goal, but MacGyver, he wants to get on the action. He was this close to scoring a triangle.
Flakesy rattling the bar. MacGyver misses his touch. KK back on the rotation. He's so quick on rotation. Definitely one of those different class players, I think, in this battle at the bottom. MacGyver pulling out another save from OneSkunk, who is looking to get more offensive. Halum pinches it off the top of the box. MacGyver in once again. Flakesy sees KK infield, but OneSkunk with a brilliant interception. It's taken him a while to get going, Jam, but his influence on this game cannot be mistaken.
So all of a sudden, Bad Dudes are finding all of these great opportunities to stop Mind Games Esports and then bring the ball back on the half while Mind Games Esports are still retreating back. And I'm getting worried for Mind Games Esports defense, because this is some worrying open spots. Speaking of open spots, there you have it. But nobody from Mind Games Esports close Halum. I think in his positioning, he didn't want to look at it. But he panicked just a little bit. Still allows Bad Dudes to return back with the ball. OneSkunk just does not find the angle. But Mind Games Esports is starting to get sieged. And that siege, well, might be their undoing.
Did you see that passing play between Halum and Dr. Zool? That was beautiful. So close to a second goal. And what a pretty second goal it would have been as well. Bad Dude's just getting started. This should be Halum's to deal with. Gets it past KK. Gets the pop-up as well over the second. Here comes OneSkunk looking for his second. And MacGyver once again comes in clutch. KK out from the back, trying to start a counter-attack, but it's chokehold after chokehold. Halum, Dr. Zool, trying to get himself in trouble, Halum there. And OneSkunk keeps it at the midfield. It's a great pass down to Halum, who keeps the pressure on. 32 boost to work with. Hits it against the backboard. Back to Dr. Zool. 2 in net. OneSkunk chips it over 1. OneSkunk! And KK in net as well there. All hands on deck for Mind Games, who cannot break out of OneSkunk with the demo. Halum, the siege, it finally breaks through. The wall is quite literally blown apart. And that is a well-deserved 2-goal lead for Bad Dudes.
Well, just like that saying goes, if you can't beat them, just destroy them. Just like that. And Bad Dudes started doing something that has been missing in game number 1. They started supporting each other. That series of attacks would not have been possible if they weren't there for each other. Constantly picking up the ball where one drops it, where an opportunity to rise. 3-0 happens even it wasn't even on my camera as I was looking at it. Was it just an unfortunate coincidence?
There's a demo in net! OneSkunk killed the keeper again!
Okay, call the police. This is a murder scene.
Not just that, but he's a serial killer. Oh, big win from MacGyver, and that's going to be a goal back for Mind Games Esports on a plate for Flakesy. But there's still 2 more to find in the final minute and a half.
OneSkunk just couldn't decide where the ball is going to go. I don't think it would go straight behind his teammate who was taking the kickoff. That would be incredibly strange. Ball can just pass through a teammate. If it's going to bounce anywhere, it's going to be in the middle or to the other side. He guessed wrong, and that's how Mind Games Esports get on the board in this game. But this has not been their game, our league. Not even close. Bad Dudes are putting on a display even against Mind Games Esports right now in their configuration, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from them.
Oh, I agree entirely. Totally different beast to game number 1. Flakesy, OneSkunk, he beat the entire defense, did Flakesy, but OneSkunk, after missing the ball initially, gets up onto the backboard and deals with it beautifully. Halum with the clearance, OneSkunk pops it off. Flakesy now trying to break out, plenty of boost, but not so much time on the clock. Infield, KK's going to wrap himself. No, it's going to be MacGyver who picks this up. Dr. Zool puts in a block. And KK misses his touch entirely. Halum goes all the way down the other side of the pitch. And is this going to be... it's no double tap luck for OneSkunk. The score remains at 3-1. Offense still coming through, but the counter-attack now initiated. KK takes out Halum, but Flakesy was meandering on the ball, and OneSkunk gets the challenge in that he needs.
That is Mind Games Esports trying to do the same to the Bad Dudes, what the Bad Dudes have been doing to them throughout the whole game too. A couple of demos, but they are not ready for that. thankfully they were ready for that, but One Skunk and Dr. Zool both committing to that challenge in the air, and I feel like by this point boost might be an issue. Bad Dude's been stuck in their half, and it's right now I think they're just running on empty making those moves. But the timer is out early. There's just no time for Mind Games Esports to create something. This will be a great opportunity for them. Be their score in those 5 seconds remaining, but it's not gonna happen. Bad Dudes do a pretty big one on the Mind Games Esports in this game too.
I was here. I was ready to rescind my Bad Dudes pick. I was ready to be a coward, to back out and say, Mind Games sweep. Boy, was I wrong. One Skunk, I don't think he deserves to be at the bottom of the Bad Dudes scoreboard there. Instrumental in absolutely everything was One Skunk. Look at that, 4 shots apiece for them. It's not that Mind Games weren't having shots either. They got 10 on target, but it was literally almost like a reverse situation of that first game. One Skunk was missing in game number 1. He turned up here. KK was on fire in game number 1. But he was closed down here in a big way. And that's a massive, massive W on the board for Bad Dudes. 1 apiece in the series. I think we've got a bit of a thriller on our hands, Jam.
And this is a thriller that Mind Games Esports would like to avoid at any cost. Because by this point, even if they win the series, the more games they drop, the lesser is their chance of getting past when the tie situation happens. I was feeling like this, whoopsie daisy. I was feeling like this might be the situation where they will be sweeping their opposition. That will put them in a great spot. But here, it is not the same. And Bad Dudes might even shock Mind Games Esports if they continue playing like that. Another point about that scoreboard that we just seen, look at how close everyone from Bad Dudes were in terms of point average. Is the fact that they've been all playing together. Every single goal by them was assisted. So it was a team effort through and through the game number 2.
A reminder, if Mind Games flat out lose this series, they're eliminated from the BESL. They have to re-qualify for next season. And anybody who has played Rocket League play-ins knows just how tiring and worrying a set of matches that can be. On the sidewall, Flakesy flicks it up. MacGyver on the retreat though, he needs boost. Halloum allowed to counter. Dr. Zool sees the net open and scores. Easy as that, Jam. Easy as that.
That's a solid touch by him. For Bad Dudes, their amount of shots, we saw 12 in the previous game. A lot of this was amplified by them taking pot shots at the net. Not exactly getting enough power here. Dr. Zool gets just enough oomph at the end of it to make sure that Mind Games Esports, they were looking already beat with that open net, and now they're beat for sure. Look at that, starting another attack immediately. Dr. Zool will be waiting for that pass. I don't think they have boost. And of course, they have KK on the backboard, who immediately wants to clear it.
It's like the Mind Games Esports that we've been used to seeing. And certainly KK won't be used to this relegation scrap situation where heads can drop quickly if things don't go their way. MacGyver booms it downfield, only as far as Halloum. And One Skunk was so much quicker. MacGyver had no boost to work with. And KK going to deal with this once again. Flakesy completes the clearance. Flakesy with the bump on Dr. Zool allows KK in here. Oh, what an angle! What a goal!
It's KK back into the action. Was quiet in game 2. And I feel like he was just picking the wrong approaches, clashing with his teammates here. Another individual effort by him, and what a beaut that was, beating the player on the wall, with Flakesy of course helping. But that ball evaded everyone from Bad Dudes on the ground and into the net. And as a result, if you want to get back into the action, you better, why not get into it with something like that? It's a beaut.
One Skunk taking out Flakesy. I think you can very much feel the relegation style nature of this match now, as bumps and demos are coming out plenty for both teams. Flakesy, infield pass. One Skunk, boomer downfield. And MacGyver throws it into the corner. Dr. Zool on target, and Flakesy with the save. KK was there as well. Navigates past Halloum, and down from the ceiling comes Flakesy. Oh, gets a little touch at Halloum at the last, throws this one away. inventiveness from Flakesy as KK goes in field. Dr. Zool going to throw it towards the net, though. And MacGyver's, well, he was already there. He should have been with him. Well, I don't know what he was doing. He pre-jumped, I think, maybe. Either way, they get away with it.
Just barely. Look at that, counter-attacking forever. Does not help Flakesy. I think he was approaching that ball just from an awkward angle. Jumped at it, but the post denied him. KK, actually to Flakesy, look at that. They're feeling each other, going for each other's passes. The thing that worries me right now, League, is the fact that the bad dudes all of a sudden started playing very close. I spoke about supporting each other, but when a player is basically within a breath's space, then it's not good. One Skunk just tries to get his team a little bit farther than that. Misdodged by Flakesy on the wall. That is just a solid pass for Young. So he wants for there to be somebody who's doing this for him.
Oof! That's a big yikes from Flakesy. He's so instrumental in the goal for the Mind Games up the other end. And, well, he's just gifted that one. And that's another gifted goal off the kickoff. Dr. Zool makes it a 2-goal advantage.
It's a second one. And with KK in the back, just a tad too close. And Dr. Zool was right at the same pace. Here, I would even argue... No, KK was just shadowing, so it's not a question of a quick kickoff. He was just driving there. Unfortunate, but bad dudes just like those kickoff goals. That's the second for them already. And increasing their lead even further. And still in the attack with KK being bumped. Oh, it's rough.
One Skunk. Oh, that's a great touch off the backboard. Gets the second touch as well. And I think he got, like, a bit of a ghost touch on the ball as well to navigate past the oncoming attacker. He's been a bit quiet in game number 3 in all honesty, but he's picked up a goal. He's starting to work his way in once again. Oh my God. Word.
What a touch.
Can he help it in? Is there anybody? Oh, what a save from KK. Haloum, it was there on the plate for him, but KK denied the almost certain goal to make it 4-1. Down, oh, Flake is there in the defense. It's a tricky situation for bad dudes, and MacGyver completely misses the ball. He's MacGyvered it at the worst opportunity when his team desperately needs a goal jam. We saw this sort of similar situation in game number 2. I'm flopping over my words. Thankfully, MacGyver follows through on this occasion. They got 50 seconds to find an equalizer.
Some extra flops on the field as well. Good challenge. That dunk was perfect. And then one Skunk. Once again, bad dudes are too eager to get to the ball. If one player would be on the ground for that one, that would have been much better, I feel like. But it seems like their rotation might have been just a tad too out. And the bad dudes were not making it to that ball one way or the other.
Here comes Dr. Zool. Oh, wow. Great second touch from him. And MacGyver floats it over the top of Haloum. Lovely work from him. Big bump from Dr. Zool, disrupted KK, but everyone's quite content to miss the ball in the corner. Dr. Zool now trying to get this one out. Flakesy intercepted by one Skunk. Car-to-car action. Haloum wins the challenge in the air against KK. And now it's 2v1, but MacGyver rushes in. His defensive work has been top quality in this series. His team have needed him, but one Skunk once again sends it right back to sender. 10 seconds for bad dudes to hold on. They go into match point. Both teams go into match point if they are able to win this one. Flakesy, oh, he leaves it to MacGyver, but MacGyver was not on the same wavelength. It's bad dudes with the advantage. 2-1 in the series. A much tighter game in the end, Jam. But I wouldn't say that bad dudes didn't deserve it. They looked in control of about 3 minutes of that season, and if you're in control of the majority, you should be coming through with a W.
Yeah, seeming that way for them. They still have issues here and there. I am not a big fan of them playing incredibly close to each other. That's basically they take themselves out of the equation the moment 50-50 doesn't go their way. And as a result, Mind Games Esports have been able to pick up a goal or even two, barely to the fact that the bad dudes were not there in a position. KK came in with that great shot at the very top of the game. And of course, MacGyver then finished up a great clear, but it wasn't working. It's still too close. It's still too close for bad dudes. And if they can remove that out of their play, I think they'll be safer off by the end of the series, whenever that might come, in 1 game time, in perhaps 2 game time, because Mind Games Esports coming closer and closer. They swept the first game. They got KK and Flakesy just in the right positions. Yeah. But now it seems like they no longer can find that parity. They can no longer find those passes, and that is worrying me. it was looking incredibly well for them. And ooh, wait a second.
What happened here?
I generally don't know, but I'm pretty sure you were also immediately put on a team, weren't you?
What?
Interesting. Huh. All right.
I've never seen that before.
That's
okay.
That's a first for me as well. Wow.
Wow.
How does that
Okay.
even happen?
just to like inform the audience, right?
Of course.
We have spectate cam, right? Sometimes faux pas happen. We accidentally press join team rather than spectate. It happens in Rocket League. It's happened at RLCS, right? Rocket League just decided everyone plays.
Yeah.
We can all be a part of Bad Dudes and Mind Games Esports if we really believe. And so I guess we'll try and sort that out as quickly as possible.
That was surprising. First I thought, oh, I see Ireleague has joined the team. Well, happens. I already did so myself this series as well. So I'm thinking, well, he's just making me feel not as bad. But then I joined the team. I couldn't switch the team. All right, Rocket League, you do you. We will just wait for you to try and figure out whether you are willing to let these teams play. And really, for Mind Games Esports, it is looking rough. Even if they gonna win their series against Postgame Strong next week, if they drop this one, I'm pretty sure that their chance is gone. Team Small Brain are still in the danger zone. But for Mind Games Esports, I felt like this should be winnable. And right now, it's looking like the opposite is going to happen, and I'm at least going to throw my predictions out of the window. You had your ideas that the Bad Dudes should be winning this through and through. I was thinking Mind Games Esports are going to take it just based on their sub, and then after that first game, I thought, all right, it's done deal. Nothing to see here, just 3-0, easy and easy. No. Is just not working. And it's the Bad Dudes, I feel like, who are bringing out some of the greatest level of play I've seen from them. They've always been sort of oh, that is good. Ooh, that is lovely. But the passes that they manage to create on a field, and the fact that they are not only creating those passes, there's always somebody on the end of them, means that the Mind Games Esports defense gets stretched out, and the precision, I think, as the time goes, is only improving for the Bad Dudes, making sure that they just getting more and more of these opportunities in.
Again, it's the double-edged sword of having a sub. You can bring in someone like KK, like Chuvis, and they could do very well for you. They're a great player. You also haven't played with them for the entire season, and that is something the Bad Dudes have been doing. They are playing exactly to form jam. They have beaten every team in the bottom four that they've faced so far. They've lost against every team in the top four that they've faced so far. Mind Games is a bottom four team. And by the end of this match, game number 4, they might well be an eliminated team. Flakesy completes his clearance out to the midfield. Haloom combines with One Skunk. The pinch doesn't go their way, however. One Skunk, difficult ball off the backboard, but Haloom flies in with the backboard pass to make the clearance, and here he is once again to get it out of his own half. Flakesy can't get past One Skunk. MacGyver on hand to keep up the offensive. Haloom completes the save. And he doesn't get the touch as Flakesy comes in over the top of him. Bit of a pinch there over to the far wall. Dr. Zool on hand to try and clean up, but his touch was poor. KK up high. Double commit in net, but that's a big enough clearance jam that the blushes are most certainly saved.
Bad Dudes just like to tickle the nerves of their fans, or even us. Because that's unnecessary. You don't have to get, if you want to get power, just bring on one player and get a really good shot. If you want to spend a lot of boosts, kill your chances for the attack. Clear is a nice thing, but if you can't follow up that clear, then what is that clear even for? They didn't have that much pressure on the net. So this is just one tiny smidge, although it's a pretty big smidge if you look at it in the encompassing the whole series. But this is something that Mind Games Esports definitely can use. Bad Dudes are looking so well in the attack, but when the time comes to defending or playing against, like doing challenges, sometimes it just falls apart from them, and it's all due to those double commits.
This player's lining up to attack the orange net, and the miscommunication cost them. That should have been 1-0 Bad Dudes.
It's another double commit early, because just they are eager, and I can understand their eagerness right now. Close down the series immediately. Yep, not working. Good bumps here and there, and KK and Flakesy decided to sit this back out. Not willing to risk it, because right now Mind Games Esports risk it. They drop down in a goal, might even drop the game as well.
KK. Nice pinch over the top of one, but not able to get past the second. Flakesy. Off his own backboard, Dr. Zool. Going for the slow down play, KK having none of it. One skunk. Looking to start another initiative, but MacGyver will put a stop. He fancies handing out his own pamphlets. KK subscribes. Flakesy on the return, but no, again, the attack breaks down. This should be an easy clearance here from Halloum. MacGyver, the only one in the midfield. Again, that's a good challenge. They've needed him. Dr. Zool. KK now back. Little boost to expend, but he gets the clearance once more. Up high. Dr. Zool helps it off the top of the box. One skunk towards net. Off the backboard. Flakesy to the midfield. Awkward touch. KK misses. One skunk misses. Everyone misses. Again, it should be 1-0, 2-0 Bad Dudes Jam. They're failing to convert on these chances, and sooner or later, that is going to bite them hard.
We see another check unfolding by Mind Games Esports, but they can't catch Bad Dudes on bad rotations either. And I'm feeling like bad rotations might soon come in from Mind Games Esports themselves. I see KK on a regular basis with no boost. Seemingly he's just clashing with his team or with the playstyles of the Bad Dudes, and he can't find himself enough boost on the field to make any contribution, or really something that we would really expect from him. And it's by this point it's almost like a sub wasted. No goals so far in this fourth game. No goals at that point. But 3 seconds later, of course, Flakesy rushes in through the flank, and it's that our Kratinus on the flag, it seems, not reading the bounce well. Actually, where are the goalies? Sitting way too deep and following each other yet again. You get in a straight line. First player jumps, doesn't reach. The second player doesn't even jump. Of course you're going to concede that.
It did come back to bite them in a big way. 1-0 Mind Games. They keep their BESL hopes alive, and Flakesy with another big win. All in. Up. And there's KK. Scoreline doubled. And Pepe hands. The chokes, are they here?
They might as well be. Mind Games Esports find themselves tiny opening, but they open that opening wider and wider. KK, if he would have missed that, I would really have some important questions for him. But he converts well. Out of boost right now. Just positioned himself well. Oh, no! She just sneaks up on that ball. Save is there. MacGyver just too oomphy. But KK, if anything, Mind Games Esports can learn from this, and perhaps, of course, Bad Dudes by proxy can learn as well, is the patience by KK. He knows exactly where he can slow it down when he doesn't have to take the risk, when he doesn't have to panic. And that is a very incredible quality to have, and so far he has been utilizing pretty well. Just that sometimes, of course, they need the aggressive, the raging, the scoring KK as well. 8 seconds, our league. There is a chance. And we saw Bad Dudes scoring off the kickoff. Let's see how Mind Games approach this one.
We have. Oh, that's a lovely finish as well from one skunk. Nice backflip. Now they need this kickoff to work for them, Bad Dudes. Let's see how it pans out. It goes in the favor. Oh, Dr. Zool! Oh, no, it was... Yeah, Dr. Zool got the assist! One skunk with the finish. Can you believe it? I thought it was Dr. Zool with the pop here. It was one skunk who nicked it off the top of his own car. 2-2. Finally, the goal's coming through for Bad Dudes. They've saved their series. And surely this goes to OT unless we have another kickoff goal. That'd be criminal if Bad Dudes let it go now. Oh, here we go, MacGyver. Halloum, and it's still up in the air. Dr. Zool going to try and pop it up. And KK, it comes to the floor finally. It's OT.
Oh, Bad Dudes turn a horrible situation into a great one almost immediately. Straight another kickoff. Better be careful, though. They are surviving this one, and with this survival, they might as well put the dagger into Mind Games Esports' heart. Oh, one goal is all they need to get out of this sweaty situation. MacGyver, looking for goals, still can find majority of them. He's there, he's attacking, he wants his team to win as much as anyone else on the Mind Games Esports side. But now it's gonna get even nervouser, more nervous than before.
Their BESL lives are quite literally on the line. Score here or you're out. It's as simple as that. Flakesy hands it off. He invites the challenge, and Dr. Zool has only KK to beat. You can see Wonska trying to come in, but the hero's bump didn't come through. Halloum pops it off the corner. MacGyver with the challenge. And KK should get this one away. Gets it past one skunk as well. That was crucial to buy his team some time. Dr. Zool with the 100 boost. Pinches it off the top of the ceiling. Misses the touch, but Halloum saves him. KK keeps the pressure on, but there's no follow-up from MacGyver, who's well back in his own half. Looks for the pass to Flakesy. He misses the touch. KK follows through. One skunk beats two players. And KK over to the corner.
1 minute and 30 seconds passed while Mind Games Esports hold on. I wouldn't exactly say they're looking that much closer to scoring, and the Bad Dudes are still involving all of their players in those plays, trying to find each other on the field. And with Mind Games Esports sometimes giving Bad Dudes way too much space, that's how Bad Dudes can continue making those passes, is because you're not get slowed down, because there's space on the field to create those plays. And here, with all three players around the ball but not really moving it anywhere, Mind Games Esports might put themselves in a horrible situation when everyone will be out hunting for boost. All Bad Dudes are just continue their siege and look for results.
Halloum looking for the infield pass here, looking to get a little bit creative. He actually invites the clearance. Round comes KK. Halloum off his own backboard. It's a weak one. One skunk gets there first, though. And to the midfield it goes once again. Boost low for pretty much everyone, actually. 100 pads being picked up. Like it's buy one, get one free at the supermarket. Flakesy. Halloum. And look at one skunk. It's with 3v1 almost. And MacGyver, the last one in net once again. And oh, the infield pass. It was great from Dr. Zool, but one skunk too far forward to make the touch. Flakesy hands it off to Halloum. MacGyver over to the side. Halloum's still there. He's still on the attack. And KK takes control of the situation. Not for long, though, as Dr. Zool throws this one on target. MacGyver once again with the save. He's been so pivotal in keeping his team in this. And here he goes once again. The boomer downfield. Easy backboard defense for Dr. Zool. And a miss from Flakesy. KK keeps it up high. Flakesy going to get it over the top of Halloum. And in comes Dr. Zool with yet another good bit of backboard defense.
They're trying to find anything that will work for them. I feel like the backboard might be that thing to test out. Bad Dudes were not looking the strongest. KK needs to make that save at the very least, pop it as high as he possibly can. Right now, all settled on the same flank. Bad Dudes obviously will be retreating back, but that pop and that straight pass and then the setup straight in front of the net. MacGyver left the net way too early. My God.
What a goal! This pass from Halloum, God tier. And Bad Dudes have eliminated Mind Games Esports from BESL Season 4. They really should have had that game wrapped up so much earlier. It should have been wrapped up in regulation time. The architects of their own issues. But quality came through. And despite KK, a reigning champion, coming in to sub for Mind Games, the synergy of the team that has played together all season long is what wins out Jam. No Game 5 for Mind Games. It's a 3-1 win in the series for Bad Dudes.
And I do believe that if the Mind Games still, I believe, have a small chance of getting through, it all hinges on how many games Team Small Brain are going to lose still, whether Mind Games Esports are going to win their series against Post Game Strong as well. But I feel like for Bad Dudes, this is it. They have retained their slot for the 5th season. So it's congratulations to them. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see them again. Because what they've shown is promise. They are one of the rare teams in the league. And now that I'm saying this, I feel like I'm slagging half of the teams or even more. They're utilizing each other incredibly well. They're working for passes. Some of these passing plays that we rarely sometimes see from Post Game Strong, we think, my God, where has this been all this time? For the Bad Dudes, this is seemingly bread and butter. They know exactly how to work with each other. They expect each other to make passes, be there for passes, and of course create chances and goals. And this is the result. Wow. Well, that was a surprise to me, because I've picked Mind Games Esports. No surprise for Ireleak, I suppose, since he has picked Bad Dudes from the very beginning, and I now see the error of my ways. more about this game and, of course, and our next matchup as well. That will be on your screens in just a short moment. See you then.
Ir mirkļi, kas nevar gaidīt. Paņem tos līdzi, lai kur tu būtu. Helio ITV televīzija, kas pielāgojas tev.
We're 1,000 miles from comfort. We have traveled land of sea. But as long as you are with me, there's no place I'd rather be. I would wait forever, exalted in the sea. As long as I am with you, my heart continues to beat. With every step we take, Kyoto to the bay, strolling so casually. We're different and the same. Yeah, you and us and me. Switch up the battery.
Helio piedāvā.
Mēs no tā visa varam uztaisīt kārtīgu weekend balīti. Tu esi Andris kā vecajos laikos.
Lai kādos piedzīvojumos tu dotos, Helio ITV un Shortcut vienmēr tev līdzi. Skaties, kur un kā vēlies.
Folks, welcome back to BSL Rocket League action. We just saw Bad Dudes do a number on Mind Games Esports, and whoa, what a number that was. Some unexpected quality plays, but seemingly our league has expected them all the way through. No surprises for him. I was just at some point sitting with my mouth agape thinking, wow, and it was just getting better as the series went on.
I mean, they did surprise me in that they won it in 4. I thought Mind Games was going to give them a bit more of a tough time, but I think the entire series was really, or could really be summed up by that last game which went to overtime. Bad Dudes should have wrapped it up so much quicker, ultimately, but they missed so many good chances. That was what saw them drop the first game against Mind Games, and it's what saw them almost drop that 4th game against Mind Games. But Mind Games, the synergy, it just wasn't there. And Flakesy and KK, who'd been offered the opportunity to say, here, have a free trial of your partnership. See whether you can make some plays together in game number 1. That free trial expired come game number 2. And yeah, it was literally down to MacGyver keeping them in the game by that point, because he made so many saves and so many crucial interceptions. KK and Flakesy just started misfiring.
It was weird, as if the warranty period has ended, and the moment that happened, the game just broke down. They were setting up each other well. Mind Games Esports, I feel like, were willing to play faster, more creative. It's just that at some point after that first game, or the moment that things didn't go their way, then all that creativity turned into panic, turned into... I wouldn't even say they were pulling like the blankets onto themselves, trying to sort of steal it away from the other, take the spotlight. It's just that nothing was really clicking for them. 3 players driving around the field, hitting the ball, but rarely did I see them involving each other. Only at rare times KK and Flakesy may be trying to create something in between each other. But passes were almost non-existent for Mind Games Esports. Well, on the other end of the field, I believe something like 75% of Bad Dudes' goals were assisted, and we saw that on the field. Great passes. We constantly see them moving the ball around left, right, back and forth between each other, and I feel like that's what got them a lot of control over that series.
It's the Weite methodology. Every player is as important as each other. Every player has a good a chance to score. Every player has a good a chance as to meet the ball in midfield. Every player is responsible for keeping their net safe. And ultimately, I think a lot rested on one skunk who didn't really turn up in game number 1. As soon as he started to turn up, though, things started popping off. He was demoing goalies. He was getting good shots on target, assisting. Of course, he scored the winner, nicking it off Dr. Zool. The two of them combined. It's unfair to say that he nicked it off Dr. Zool, but he scored the winning goal as well that saw Bad Dudes through, which sees Mind Games eliminated from BESL Season 4. They're going to have to qualify through the play-ins again to try and get into Season 5 now. And ultimately, I think that's just for him, because he's coming for Kobe Jack. He's, as far as we're aware, a permanent part of that roster now. And what better way to do and cement yourself in that role than by coming up big and being such an instrumental part of your team's success. I think it was a real feel-good series for Bad Dudes, although it was, as I said earlier, very much lining up with the form which they've established themselves in Season 4 as well.
I'm just reading a lot of fan and player comments on that matchup, and they are... Flake is pointing out that he is just disappointed that he couldn't play at the same level as he expects from himself, and he feels like in a small way he might have let his team down in that matchup. But
I think he'll be fine. I would be so surprised if Flakesy isn't in Season 5 with one team or another.
He is up there with quality. He might be in the bottom, the team that's the bottom of the standings, but he is by no means at the bottom of the standings. He is fighting with the best of them, and it's really showing. So yeah, he is his credit, there's a lot going into the next season. But let's talk about another couple of teams that might not be making the next season, or at the very least will be forced to relegate, and that is Team Smallbrain versus Post Game Strong. Rico, Mexman, and Kikis. This time the German-born Peter won't be able to play. Kikis once again steps up as the main sub for Team Smallbrain versus the Post Game Strong side, who we've learned to love throughout these 2 seasons. They haven't changed anything. Perhaps they should, but it's Dipsy, Rukava, and Arceus still on that squad. And the thing is, if Team Smallbrain lose this one, then Mind Games Esports and Post Game Strong get a small chance. If Post Game Strong lose this one, I do believe that is completely it. 2 wins for Team Smallbrain guarantee that neither Post Game Strong or Mind Games Esports can get any higher than those 7 and 8 spots.
Well, for Mind Games Esports, they're just hoping to get 7th at this point. I need to double check the game difference here. Yeah, Team Smallbrain's game difference is the big winner here. You're right in saying that if Team Smallbrain win here, then Post Game Strong is eliminated. That's correct. Post Game Strong, they are literally trying to save their season and their season alone today. Do they have a chance to do it? Yes, I think they do. It's strange. I'm going with gut feeling on this one. Post Game Strong have not won more than 1 game in a series all season long. They've not won 2 games in a series. Let that sink in. If they are to win this, they need to win 3 games. Triple the amount which they've done in any series so far. Team Smallbrain, they have won, but they only won against Mind Games, and that in itself was a super touch and go best of 5. They've got a sub on their team. I know that Peter hasn't been performing well in the last couple of weeks. Kikis is decent, but again, is Kikis the sort of player to change fortunes? I'm not entirely sure. We're into game number 1, and I think I'm gonna say it, Jam. I think Post Game Strong should be winning this. I think it'll be a best of 5, don't get me wrong. I think this is the day where Post Game Strong breaks their duck, though.
Oof, let's see what exactly will be broken in this matchup. For me, I still feel like Post Game Strong, this might be their great week. This might be when everything finally clicks for them. But as often we see, most of the weeks it just does not work for them at all. Sometimes it's just the effort that they're not showing. Sometimes it's the simplest of mistakes, mechanical misadventures that they go on. Some double commits, perhaps, at times. Sometimes their offense just outright missing. They're stuck in their own half. Team Smallbrain will be a little bit more forgiving, although this was the first warning shot. And Post Game Strong need to wisen up.
Okay, so it's Mex with the back pass. Finds Kikis. Of course, Kikis, we know him well. Solid enough player. Quite frankly, I think Peyton needed a rest. He was carrying this team so hard in the early weeks. It's quite easy to see why he could have burned out, I guess is the correct phrase to use there. Mex. So 50-50 with Dipsy. Rukawa over the top. Rukawa continuing the play, but he does win against Rico, actually. Dipsy keeping the play alive. Where's Arceus? Nowhere to be found. And again, we're looking to Arceus for those striker plays. He's been a bit MIA this season. And he needs a bit more striker's instinct, I feel, Jam. He needs to be ready to commit. I know it's scary, but stuff like that can happen if you're willing to commit. And it's PGX with the first goal.
Calculated. Chad disabled for 3 seconds.
Wow.
Because they did not plan on this, and they definitely did not plan on Kikis and Enrico doing that in the net. And this was after Post Game Strong kept on committing onto the same ball with 2 players not really communicating between each other who's gonna go for it. And they get a lucky break. They almost get a second one immediately after a shot just caroms off to the side. But for Post Game Strong, immediately in game number 1, some old issues rear their ugly head. And if Team Smallbrain can use them, then Post Game Strong might not be in here for long.
We apologize if we've lost game sound once again, folks. We'll be looking at it so possible. Oh, Rukawa, that's an open net. And brilliant work, by the way, for Dipsy. Oh, was it Dipsy? No? Was it Rukawa? No, it was Dipsy who was running interference. Kikis actually gets the demo. They take each other out, don't they? Awesome. 2-0. Rukawa with his second. I also noticed that Kikis is running the Nemesis. Good on you. By the way, Twitch Prime, you can pick up the Nemesis car. I can't get it because I don't have any money. But money in the bank, it seems, for post-game strong. That's a 2-goal advantage, and we've only just hit half-time.
It is post-game strong in the lead, in a solid position, and it feels so weird to say this, but they worked for it. That first goal, once again, was a little bit of a fortunate events sequence for them. Second goal, they went for it. They got the players all in the right spots, and it was just perfect. So here, as long as they hold on, as long as their defense is solid, and they might actually be looking at the game 1 win. The problem is, you said it, they haven't won more than, one game per series, and that is troubling.
It is the demon that they have to overcome today. Rico, high and wide. No, not wide, just high. It was high and handsome. That's the word I was looking for. Kikis pops over the top of one. Mex with the wrong angle. Arceus stops the play. And what a pinch downfield from Arceus. Lovely work. And he's going to get the second touch as well. In towards Mex. Rukawa had the wrong angle himself, however. He's going to pop it back into the middle. Dipsy a little bit too far forward. Gets the touch. Gets the second touch. And these second touches, Jam, I know that not everything that PGS are doing is working off. And Rico, they're going to punish that demon of days gone by for PGS. Backboard defense. It's a 1-goal game. But the second touches are somewhat working for PGS. That said, they need to work on their defense still.
I feel like that attempt by Rukawa was as good as it gets when he went to that backboard. This time it was more Team Small Brain being quick enough to beat everyone from post-game strong to the punch, bring the ball back to the orange half, and hit it on the backboard, and just naturally moving it that much quicker than post-game strong were able to react to. This double commit definitely won't be helping them, but thankfully with all the players in the air, okay, maybe with all the players in the air is really not the right approach. Team Small Brain survive in the post-game strong with minute remaining. I feel like by this point, conservation mode, energy saving mode is in action. No stupid risks. Just, you don't need a goal, but you need to make sure that nothing terrible happens in your defense.
We'll be fixing tech issues soon, my friends. Soon. Be patient. It's a small broadcast team here. There's only so much we can do. And there's only so much really that either of these two teams can do now to either equalize or close things down. Post-game strong, they've got 30 seconds to hold on. And I really do think it is just a case of parking the bus and holding on, because this would be such an important point for them. Such an important win. It was their defense that was costing them once again today. 10 seconds left. Mex with the clearance. Rico to chase. Arceus is in net. And he whiffs it at the worst possible opportunity, Jam! I'm frustrated!
It's 1 minute. 1 minute, all they needed to do, but that follow-up and him not recognizing that Kikis is straight on top of them. He basically hit the ball into Kikis. Kikis hit the ball back, and then they ping-ponged back and forth before it just eventually went into the net. In that position, the way the approach was made, that's the only possible way to do this. 2-2. And post-game strong, looking oh so great at the very beginning. Just let that game on through. Still a possibility, as long as they can make the connection, as long as they be first to the ball, as long as these demolitions might coming through. It might actually work, and if they can tie up Small Brain in some awkward positions, the Sulcut could be handy for post-game strong to steal this away. By this point, it's steal this back from Team Small Brain, who are in driver's seat.
You know, Dipsy's trying some really inventive stuff. I think I mentioned this before. I've been so impressed with his growth between seasons. If anything, it's been Arceus and Rukawa who've been a little bit disappointing for me. Rukawa, of course, the only man with goals for PGS so far this series. Picked up the 2, one of which was totally what he meant, by the way. Absolutely not a mistake or, whatever. But I like what Dipsy's trying. He's trying to confuddle the defense. He's trying to force and stretch defensive errors so that his team has good opportunities. It's 2v1, by the way. Mech's the only one in net. But again, Arceus was so far back. He might as well have been in a different country. Dipsy was trying to pass something to him over the ocean. He was never going to get on the end of it. Oh, what a second touch again from Dipsy, and flying in, I think was Rukawa. Yeah. Arceus again, not committing. I really think that he's just sticking to this role that's further back, and I don't think it's working for him. Again, this guy's backboard defense is a known issue. Why would you trust someone with known defensive issues as your third player in? There he is. What a great commit from Arceus. Finally gets involved in the attack. All it needs is a touch.
No.
Someone touch the ball. Put it in the net, please. How did that not go in? PGS, you should have won. It was there.
And here you have a difference. Fine, no, not even finally. 2 players committed. Arceus, not too far in post-game strong, not bringing enough players in. I think by this point, thinking, my God, it just will be too risky. We can't do this again. Maybe an extra touch. But this was, if we take this clip, and then we take a clip from KK in a previous series, thankfully Dipsy found himself an opportunity on a flank. It was just a prolonged attack with Team Small Brain not even having a moment. They break it down through, but this was a goal a minute in the making. And it was just looking oh so nervous from both sides.
More struggles than me in the dating scene. Post-game strong.
A rare self-burn, I see.
I give these players enough. Like, I need to burn myself at some point. Post-game strong with the first W on the board. They have equaled their best in a series all season long. I wish I could say they have to take momentum from this, Jam, but look at Team Small Brain. 12 shots on target, and they only converted 2 of them. Post-game strong got very, very lucky, and they need to be a lot more clinical with their shots, because, again, that first goal, total fluke. Their third goal, they missed an opportunity that they shouldn't have been scoring, and they scored an opportunity that they shouldn't. It makes no sense to me, Jam. And so I think we're back to square one with game number 2. Honestly, both of these teams have to think that way. Positively for Small Brain, realistically for post-game strong.
Well, this series was at least starting to be flipped up immediately on the top of the head. It is interesting, and what did I just join? Trying to get back in the action, folks. Again, apologies for the missing in-game sound. Sometimes it's an issue beyond our understanding, at the very least, what that might be. But hopefully we'll get all the necessary sounds and ba-bam and whatever you might also be missing right now from the action, because we would
just
also
do our own sound effects.
Yeah, we just do Foley, like splash.
I could do the splash goal explosion.
There we have it. So our release is going to be doing the splashes. We'll see what else we can do. And game 2 is right here and ready. And I believe all the rumbles in the background as well. So you will get the full experience, the same ones we're getting on this Champions Field. So early game number 2.
Yes.
Oof. I feel like we might just see a comedy of errors again. And whoever can keep that comedy to more of a drama, something more serious, can get away with the series. Or Team Small Brain will get this game, grab it immediately by the horns, and put so much pressure on post-game strong that they will not be able to realize anything that they've been doing in game 1.
If it's anything like game number 1, Jam, I think we're in for the Paul Blart Mall Cop of Rocket League games.
Wow.
And I'm excited. I am excited. I want to see this. What a pop-up there. I think that was Mex. Yeah, ended up being a shot on target. Dipsy registers the save, though it was very much just administrative work there. Arceus has no boost to work with. He challenges. There's a double commit there from Rico and Mex. Not for the first time this season. Dipsy manages to fake out all of them, but Kikis sees through the lies, and Rukawa misses the backflip, and surely this is going to be a goal. Dipsy, oh wow, what a touch from Rukawa. Nobody knows what to do with the ball. There's like zero communication. Talk to each other. It's not hard.
I think they need counseling, our league. Just bring all 3 of them to a professional who can just somehow teach them to how to talk to each other, because that rotation was not a rotation at all. Everyone was thinking the other person is gonna get it. They were all pretty low on boost, thankfully for them, Team Small Brain let go. They were all the way back in their own half, thinking Postgame Strong should really just figure it out among themselves. If another team would be keeping up the pressure, and usually there's always
2v1.
somebody.
2v1. Oh,
You were saying.
it was 2v1, Jam.
Yeah, it was, no longer is. And chance is lost for Postgame Strong, who finally figure out who can go out and who can make the ball go where, whatever. It's nice to see that at least something is working for Postgame Strong in this game.
Can you believe it's almost half time, by the way? That was a very quick 2.5 minutes, and that's wow.
And that's an own goal.
I have nothing to say, Jam. I have absolutely zilch. Nothing. Nada.
Let's watch this in silence. Rukawa just flips and continues on his flip. Didn't recover correctly. And I don't think his teammate there helped the situation either. Ball was already going into the net. Shooting themselves in the foot is favorite pastime of Postgame Strong, and this is it. This is lovely from Dipsy if you're expecting something extra from somebody on the Postgame Strong. Usually it's gonna be Dipsy. He has been trying more and more of these as the season we're going through. So at least a little bit of eye candy pass perhaps. This is looking lovely. But took him a tad too long. So Team Small Brain all in a position and reading that well.
Rukawa looking for bumps. Mex only as far as Dipsy. Again, Arceus not on the same wavelength. So conservative, so negative of the tactics. Kikis in field. Dipsy with the big booming clear, getting tripped up over his teammate Arceus, trying to get the second touch rather than the 100 boost, which I'd argue would have been a better option. Rukawa is going to pick up that 100 boost, so the steal game at least in effect. Rico downfield, only as far as Rukawa. Good pressure from post-game Strong. Rukawa blocked by Kikis and Mex. Rico, hardly the best clearance. Arceus, hardly the best pinch off the wall. He's got no boost to work with as well. Rukawa last in defense. Dipsy needs to get back there pronto. Rukawa taking out Kikis for his troubles. Rico round the bend, and Dipsy going to get this one downfield over to Mex. Arceus! It's still a good opportunity. All Dipsy needs to do is put it away, and he does. 1 minute 30 left. 1-1 the scoreline.
Oh, that's a great start, having all of the players up front. This time, Postgame Strong get quicker to the challenge of Team Small Brain. That rotation was, again, almost too close setup from Team Small Brain. This close to the goal, but Postgame Strong figured out themselves in the defense, make sure everyone is going the right way, and there you have it, a tying goal. And Postgame Strong, it took them quite a long time in this game, our league, but I feel like they're finally starting to figure each other out. Mistakes are still living in their minds somewhere at the back there.
Oh, what?
An eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, I suppose. What? An own goal back in the action. Mex just hates the blue net for whatever reason. Or that was not Mex, that was Rico. Was that just a second touch gone awry? Trying to pinch it off the wall, just keeping the ball with him all this time? Seemed that way.
Dude, you shot yourself in the foot. That's hardcore. Let me shoot myself in the head. That's pretty
dude.
great. Wow, I'm a broken man, Jam.
You are.
Oh my god.
It's nice to see at least someone enjoying it right now, because I feel like neither Team Small Brain nor Postgame Strong are feeling their best. And our league, remember those words I said, comedy of errors? I mean, this is no longer Paul Blart Mall Cop. This is Medea's Halloween, or whatever you might pick out of the many of the movie features that have horrible ratings.
Oh my god, it's another one.
Right.
Okay,
breathe.
Geek is 3-2.
Relax, back into the action. Well, you just see this on your screen. A miss on the challenge and not enough speed on the rotation from Postgame Strong to get back.
Backboard again!
It's more like it's just mistouch. That mistouch could have happened anywhere. Just so happens that it was on the backboard. And Postgame Strong, they were rotating, getting back in the defense. But the fact that nobody was even close to that challenge meant that Postgame Strong are just taking their sweet time.
I know we were forced into a game earlier. One of you guys, do you want to hop in? Are you good? Dipsy makes it. I mean, at the very least, Jam, we're getting a bit of a goal fest.
That's true, but in what fashion? In a very mad and this is I love the amount of goals. Don't get me wrong. I am slightly wary about whether any of the teams will be able to get back to normality. Whether the chaos will be the way to go throughout the whole of the series.
If it was a Dungeons and Dragons character, it would be Chaos Evil. Undoubtedly. Chaos Evil. After all this, a proper comedy. It made me laugh. We're into overtime. Or are we? Dipsy goes high. Still an opportunity here. Rukawa keeps the play kind of alive. It's not the... What are you doing? Okay, there we go. It's overtime. Golden goal scenario. Post-game strong. Unbelievably have a chance to go 2-0 up in the series, Jam.
That'll be a record, and something that, again, something that really can save their bacon in the season. But with the way that the game has been going, with the amount of own goals, 3 was it in this game? It is, well, all right, at least 2, 1 per each side, and then 1 poor clear that led to the ball heading off the player's card in the post-game Strong's net. I really do have a coin our league. I feel like we can just flip it and try to figure out who exactly is going to be winning this one, unless finally the whatever is currently happening on the field will die down and teams will return back to their normal selves.
I see you making fun of me, Chuvis. Chaotic Evil. I'm sorry. Have you seen the state of this series? I'm trying my best to hold it together. Minute gone. Rukawa hands it off straight to Mex, but Rukawa actually does well to follow up on the backboard. That's the best bit of the backboard defense we've seen from either team all series long. Dipsy on his own goes wide. Interference from defenders. Arceus flat out whiffs, but Rukawa keeps it on touch. Yeah, Arceus towards net. It's a weak shot away to the side by Rico. Rukawa whiffs again. It's up to Dipsy. He takes out 2 defenders, bless him, and he still isn't able to score. Rukawa. Rico pops it up over Rukawa. Off to the side, Arceus. Rukawa still in net. Dipsy has a weird angle to try and go for. He doesn't even make that work. Arceus with the challenge. Rico wins. Rukawa towards the net, past Kikis. No second touch. Kikis past the second, and Arceus is back in his own half with 100 boost, but he's instantly turned. Goes for the pre-jump. Strong flex, bro. Mex off the backboard. Rukawa away. Downfield. Once again into the blue half. At least post-game Strong Jam are keeping on pressure. It might be comical pressure, but they might find a mistake somewhere, be it their own or the defense.
There could be a banana slip heel somewhere on the field for one of the teams to slip on, or a good cream pie, I suppose, to someone who slapped each other in the face. Meg's great save, by the way. Setup still coming in through, and
oh, how did he not score? How did he not score?
Wow, I feel like after this series, just at this game, like not even taking the whole series, we still might see more. Both the teams will age about 5 years. And then we, of course, end up with a miss in an ad. The smallest, the easiest of the challenges. But Arceus with a shot straight from the middle. Out of boost? No, just not out of boost. Not just too much energy at the end of that one. And this is getting from bad to worse to comical, and most importantly, this is getting pretty good for post-game Strong. They're keeping their season hopes alive. And by season hopes, of course, they mean staying in the BSL for next season. And I do absolutely agree with that silent protest by our league, because what we just saw was consistency wasn't even close, seemingly, to that anywhere in that game. Both teams made a ton of mistakes. Own goals, plenty. Even 1 own goal is enough in one game. 2 own goals, it is a bit crazy. Seemingly, we just found out 2 teams that under pressure cracked the most and showed the most weaknesses, and it was just, again, a coin flip. You could just not even try and predict whatever was going to happen, because any second something absolutely mad could happen, and then the next season the opposite of that, and then we just flip back on and through before something is going to happen. Our league. I think you'll join me in saying that it is absolutely impossible to predict next game. Yes, so far we have seen 3-2 and then 4-3 from Postgame Strong in the overtime. This still doesn't mean that we know what on earth is going to happen in Game 3.
We had server maintenance as well, folks, so we're going to be waiting a little bit longer. Maybe lives will... Who knows? I know that I think one of the players was looking to choose cars, not that it would save the situation necessarily. I wish I could pick a player out. I wish I could pick a player out that's doing well. I wish I could pick a player out to be savage against. And I can't. It's chaos theory in effect. Postgame Strong could 3-0 sweep Team Smallbrain. I can't believe I'm saying that. I had them down to win the series. And I can't believe that I'm saying that they could 3-0 sweep Team Smallbrain. Like, I'm running on autopilot here. We're commentating on the action. You're providing as much analysis as you can do, but how can you analyze? How can you analyze what's just happened?
Well, we put an animation of dominoes or a little house made out of cards, and it just keeps on falling, and then keeps on falling, and continues on falling, and then somehow, like, everything has fallen down already. They somehow continue on falling. It is incredible. All right, third game, our league. This could be Postgame Strong setting up a best record for them, a personal best rather, if they can do this. Because their chances are not looking that much better, that much worse compared to the previous games. I still feel like Dipsy is doing some great things, or at least good things, but it's not going to help if his team is not on the same page. And in an individual effort right now, again, it's not like who can get the best play going, it's who can make sure that their play is without errors, the most consistent. And right now, I don't feel like any of these players, any of these teams can say that for themselves.
I have no regrets tuning in today. Oh my god. Griff, first of all, hello. This is a whimsical introduction to Rocket League. Arceus. Is this Season 3? He's actually scored jam. I think there was a bump on the backboard as well, which might have contributed. But either way, post-game Strong, doesn't matter how whimsical the series might be, they are now in control if things stay as they are. Not only are they surviving another week, but they've just 3-0 swept Team Smallbrain. Arceus, hello. Nice to see you again. Have you finally come off holiday?
This all stems from the kickoff that Team Smallbrain didn't take. Nobody was close in. This forced them to fall back into the net, make a double commit on the wall. And then after that double commit, the net just opened way too much. Postgame Strong. That's 2 goals in 1 minute. That is as good as it gets for them.
Was that Arceus again?
Yep, that was an own goal. Not sure if that was Arceus, but definitely that was touched straight in. And the kickers was going in hot, actually. If not Arceus, that would have been... Could have been Dipsy, actually. No, Arceus was just rotating on the flank. Whoever that was on the side of Postgame Strong, I understand your intentions.
So it was Rukawa. It was an Octane for certain, so... Oh, my word.
On target? That is on target.
Oh, my God. Really? Really? Are you for real? What?
Hey, good news, though. Postgame Strong are up there contesting every single ball, and Team Smallbrain, the moment their positioning betrays them, they're getting completely beat. So Postgame Strong, first of all, it is proactivity. Oh, so often we see them just not getting anywhere, not going up front. Here, they are up there for almost every single challenge, and while sometimes they do miss, this was one of those crucial ones where they would have been there in time. Oh, ball a little bit too strong for that one. For a challenge in time, in the right position, hitting it just perfectly, making sure the Team Smallbrain's beats 2-goal lead reinstated.
I guess I'll try play-by-play again. Let's see whether this works out. Kikis through the corner. Nice little dribble there. Rukawa scoops it out from the net to actually make a pretty convincing save, and really actually does a nice clearance downfield as well. Good defensive work from Rukawa. Arceus comes into challenge. Team Small Brain's defense floundering. And Dipsy going for the spectacular, gets a slight touch, but Kikis with the slight save. Rukawa onto the backboard, Kikis away. Arceus keeps the pressure on, but Mex lofts this one high. Kikis downfield already, picks up the 100 boost to boot. Rico completely whiffs. Rukawa ends up getting the touch, but it's straight to Mex, who goes... He tries to find Kikis, but Kikis wasn't at home. Arceus. Another whiff. And another one. And another one. Can Dipsy get another goal? Oh, you bet he can! That is a rare glint of quality in what has been a quality-less game. Dipsy, as I say, great to see him improving in and amongst the madness. Some common sense at last. 4-1.
It's maybe snapping back to reality. And at the very least, this is just a parity goal. Efficient. Worked out well. And Dipsy, again, just showing quality. I'm loving that from him. Arceus perhaps a little too eager to get on that one. Dipsy already waiting on the ground. But post-game strong. It is, one more time, it's a very rare thing to say, but they can make 2 errors and still be okay. There's still a lot of space, wiggle room for them to do something again, slightly post-game strong-esque, I suppose, and still survive in the series and in this game. And but right now, it's just the Team Small Brain. They are in a discombobulated state on the field. We have lost Team Small Brain the longer this series went, and right now they're nowhere to be found. Rico, they just get back in there, but Dipsy, on point. Team Small Brain can't find the clear because there's too many players going into the same spot. Rico forced to retreat backwards. And then all the misses, all the post hits, all the everything. Team Small Brain, I think they've gone through the panic mode. They're now in despair mode, or even perhaps the acceptance mode, because 90 seconds is not enough to score for.
It is in this game, Jam. It is in this game, I think. Whether they will actually do it or not is another question entirely. I really do think that the ship has been abandoned, so to speak. You guys can't see the in-game chat. These players are as absolutely bamboozled as we are. And I genuinely think that Team Small Brain, if they've not given up necessarily, they've stopped taking it seriously. Rukawa with a nice little flick on. Kikis actually does well to save that. Trying to get a nice touch there, and another double commit from Rico and Kikis. It's an open net situation. Dipsy, all he has to do is help it towards it, and wow, Arceus with the save. Pepe hands. I thought we were going for the Brazil setup here. Score! Score! Just get it on target. It's not that difficult. Players from post-game strong are in the enemy D, and there was no goal for Team Small Brain. Finally, Brazil setup denied. Mex with a goal himself. Barely consolation.
It is like it doesn't give them anything. This just proves another series of points for post-game strong, that doing great by sweeping Team Small Brain, not doing so well when you are making some decisions on the field, not keeping your head in the game at the very end, and mistakes still happen. Okay, so I said they can make 2 mistakes. Right now they can make 1 more mistake before it gets out of hand. And if post-game strong really just don't slap each other on the cheeks and say, all right, this has been fun. The fun stops right here. If Team Small Brain jumps back into this is going to be crazy. No, straight back in, and it's Team Small Brain didn't have a plan for that kickoff. Nobody was cheating up. And what were you expecting from that kickoff? You give yourself a lifeline, but you didn't use it. That was a very thin one, but it's something nonetheless. Arleek, let's forget about this perhaps as fast as we can. I think the teams would like to forget about this as well. It is unbelievable what we just see on the field. It is both records. Post-game strong sweeping any team at all is already crazy. Actually, no.
They didn't do that in season 3. I don't think, did they?
Actually, let me quickly check, because now that I'm thinking about it, I do feel like in the last week, if that was the last week, let me quickly check. Post Game Strong. No, Post Game Strong did sweep Mind Games Esports last season, and this is the same game I keep returning to over and over again. That's the game that made us think, wow, Post Game Strong are doing well. We discounted them at the start of the season.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that specific game. The game that is still the reason why I keep Post Game Strong in the back of my head thinking, well, maybe this week. Maybe
something.
This week. I know exactly what they can do. Maybe now. It's rarely coming. This is perhaps that day, but then again, not really. This has been madness. Let's take a quick break from that madness. When we come back, more about this game, just whatever we can salvage, whatever we can still mention about it, because it was
something.
It was something, all right. So, folks, after a short break, we'll see you with more about this something that we just seen, as well as the next game. See you in a bit.
Ir mirkļi, kas nevar gaidīt. Paņem tos līdzi, lai kur tu būtu. Helio ITV televīzija, kas pielāgojas tev.
We're 1,000 miles from comfort. We have traveled land and sea. But as long as you are with me, there's no place I'd rather be. I would wait forever, exalted in the sea. As long as I am with you, my heart continues to beat. With every step we take, Kyoto to the bay, strolling so casually. We're different and the same. Get you another name. Switch up the battery.
Helio piedāvā.
Mēs no tā visa varam uztaisīt kārtīgu weekendu balīti. Tu esi Andris kā vecajos laikos.
Lai kādos piedzīvojumos tu dotos, Helio ITV un Shortcut vienmēr tev līdzi. Skaties, kur un kā vēlies.
Once again, folks, welcome back to BSL Rocket League action. Jarjam here with League, and yeah, this just happened. And by this, I mean that we just saw Postgame Strong win their first series of the season. Not just that winning their first series, winning them in a sweep fashion against Team Small Brain, but both teams were a step away from disaster at all times. That third game for Postgame Strong was just a little bit more or less or more in their favor, less, I wouldn't say less hectic, because it still was hectic as heck. But wow,
yeah, it was 30 seconds from disaster 10 times over, I feel, Jam. But honestly, and I only just realized this once the standings updated, the most incredible thing out of all this is that Postgame Strong have dragged themselves out from the elimination zone. Because of their game difference now, they lie in 6th. And Team Small Brain are 7th. And let's just give you a bit of a sight into the future, folks at home. That means that to survive the season, to go into Season 5 of BESL season... Team Small Brain have to beat Team Black Diamond and they need Postgame Strong to lose against Mind Game. And I'm sorry, but two-factor authentication, Jam, it's lockdown, security tight for a reason. Team Small Brain might just have seen themselves eliminated because of that, what we just saw.
And it could have been fallen just a little bit differently if a couple of games will be like misplayed. Right now, by the start of this, I do believe Postgame Strong were down. Yeah, they were down 12 games in the same spot as Mind Game System actually find themselves right now.
Yeah.
So as it could have been that much bigger of a difference if that Team Small Brain would be able to get one game away from them. Yet,
and again, well, I'm just saying as well, that negative goal difference is why Mind Games is now 4% kaput as well, because Post-Game Strong, the game difference is unreachable. They've won more games, they've lost less games, and Mind Games, it's just an uncatchable feat. Mind Games, all they can do now is basically determine the fate of the other team that's going down with them.
It is rough to see the teams in this state by the end, but it's... What can we say? We saw the performance of Mind Games Esports of Postgame Strong. This was a big surprise for many of us. And Team Small Brain, they were constantly surviving there in those 5th or 6th spots. Mostly thanks to the fact that Postgame Strong just couldn't find themselves to win a series. And Team Small Brain just managed to get that one against Mind Games Esports, bringing them down. Now they've been knocked down to the ground themselves, and the shuffle happens. And this is what I've been talking at the start of the broadcast. We will be seeing some tiers today. But let's go from tiers to potentially, actually, even more tiers. This could be this could be interesting. There is a potential for an upset, and it could be a pretty big one. And of course, I'm talking about the very next game. And those will be on your screens: Time Chasers, Memphivite, Trex, and Not Why Not Party. Samik is once again stepping up for his Lithuanian brethren versus the bad dudes who already seen today, Dr. Zul, Halum, and Wanskunk. And while the bad dudes already have put themselves in a position where they are staying in the next season, LAN is out of their reach, but they're safe. Time Chasers, they can still be brought down a peg. The bad dudes do the unthinkable and beat the Time Chasers. That they will be the first team to do so in the season so far, as Time Chasers are running on a 5-0 series record. And also, it will be a whole jumble at the top of the standings for who's going to make it to LAN.
Yeah, so we've seen Sonic subbing in twice already for Why Not Party. This one seems like a very late call once again. And it's not to say that Time Chasers instantly become bad with Sonic necessarily. Sonic is a very good player. But Why Not Party is arguably the best player in the league at the moment. So to lose him, it doesn't matter who you're replacing him with. That impact is going to be felt. And especially for bad dudes, they've got the pleasure almost out of eliminating a fellow team from BESL. They've got that one series broken in now. They're warmed up. They're ready to go. We've seen the impossible happen today. Post-game strong, they had not won more than one game in a series. They hadn't won a series, and yet they 3-0 swept. Bad dudes have not beaten a single team inside the top 4 all season. Is today the day that changes? They do well, actually, Jam, to win one game, because both of those series which they've already faced were 3-0 sweeps against them. They will be doing the Backflip Boys, though, a huge favour, though, because remember, Backflip Boys 2 weeks ago had that bruising 3-0 sweep via Black Diamond. They need to win today. It's as simple as that to keep their LAN hopes alive. If Time Chasers are brought down a peg by bad dudes, well, that really does throw the cat amongst the pigeons.
It is a bad dudes team that is, we consider them to be solid enough to throw some in upsets, but then on the other end of those scales are Time Chasers. And
yes,
rare time that I do disagree with our league, I feel like Why Not Party is not the best player in the league. That credit goes to Trex. If anyone but Trex. He is crazy. He is mad. He is just everything. And if Trex is on the field and he's feeling well, if his sound is working in the game, for example, then everything is all right. When that does not happen, it definitely drops down. But watch out for Trex. Look out for Trex. He's just getting solo outplay most of the bad dudes team, and that's where the trouble begins.
He is pretty much since week 1. He's been topping almost everything. He's top goal scorer on 30. He's in the top 3 for assists. In fact, that Time Chasers squad pretty much locks out the top 3 in every positive statistic you can find. I think he's much more of a goal scorer than Why Not Party. I think it's kind of like, I realise not so much this season, but in years gone by, it's kind of choosing between your gimmicks and your squishy muffins. It's, do you want the creativity or do you want the out and out goal scoring threat? How do you like your bread buttered? Bad dudes would like their bread buttered with a goal, please, and Dr. Zul has their first shot on target, but instantly the counter-attack coming on, and although Trex takes out Halum, Sonic fires wide.
There's a lot of speed shown by Time Chasers, and that's the movement. It's movement that we sometimes don't see from the teams in this league. In a couple of series previously, a lot of stoppages of play, a lot of, we're just gonna stop altogether, not move. And you just lose the opportunity to get somewhere on the field quicker by doing that. And right now, Time Chasers are showing that rule. If you're moving around, it's working. You are just everywhere at the same time, and you're not giving your opposition a minute to breathe.
Hello, Dr. Zul, open net, not on target, and oh! What? That should have been 1-0 bad dudes, Jam. I don't know what other way you could look at it.
It was 2 or even 3 chances in quick succession, but by every single one, they've just been a tad surprised. Good follow-up, though, to even create that second chance, because initial shot easily saved by the Time Chasers, and that's when the follow-up came in. That's when the bad dudes managed to, once again, bring the players in support of each other, not. And in the And really, in that situation, well enough so that the double commits and incredibly close plays don't really happen for them. Better be careful reading that play well. That was too close for comfort for me. I'm thinking that was going in and still saw bad dudes on the ground.
Ricochets off the bar once again, but now the counterattack coming out. One Skunk picks up the 100 boost and he slows down.
He just
Looks like a controller disconnect. Yeah, right? Very bizarre. Halloum brings out the save. And fit by. Oh, feels bad for One Skunk. That's an OG. And on the stroke of half time, the breakthrough finally comes for Time Chasers.
Something about own goals in today. One Skunk. No. Like in that situation, maybe if he got into that ball just a tad quicker, but I don't think he was in position at all. And it only takes
what was
one.
That kickoff?
It was a kickoff, but it almost seemed like a freebie was given. Players in. Oh, it's one of those. It's one of those lovely ones. I do believe we saw that last season as well. You put a player on the flank immediately. Player who gets the boost on flank doesn't just go to the middle, doesn't collect, just go straight after it. And here's your result. I've actually been the player in the support, that second player coming in to cheat up. When we're at the other, it just quick play on the kickoff to get the ball away from your opposition quickly enough, and then second player on the flank. That just beats your opponent quickly. Speaking of kickoffs, speaking of more goals, Time Chasers, they are hungry for more. They just are not satisfied with one measly goal. Give me 2. 3-0 is the scoreline.
But here's the thing. It was a stupid kickoff from Dr. Zool. He was trying to be way too fancy against it. Cannot afford to be fancy against it. And after that, the floodgates opened. And all of a sudden, it's a 3-0 scoreline when we could have been talking about 1-0 bad dudes. And missed opportunity, methinks, for bad dudes. 2 minutes left to try and at least get 1 goal on the board. Min fit by. The pop. Second shot. Gets the fake. One Skunk not faked out. One Skunk. Doesn't even get it past Somic at the midfield. Falls to Halloum. Min fit by. Out to the midfield. Somic's lying in wait, but in comes Dr. Zool. Good pressure. Halloum up high. Trex deals. And One Skunk in field looking for Halloum. The block is there. And is Dr. Zool able to come in fast enough? It's decent for One Skunk, but goes so wide that it ends up being a clearance.
Go straight back into the bad dudes have. They're trying to create something, and the Time Chasers have trying to play conservatively. They're feeling that the bad dudes will most likely not create a chance, even if the chance is given to them, and so they're playing extra safe. Staying in net, waiting for the bad dudes to make a first move and then react to it. Then to be extra proactive, and so far it's working. Bad dudes, even when the setup sort of is there, a pass finally reaches somebody, or that pre-flip almost got in there for One Skunk, he was at the hair late. They still miss, and that is the problem. Great touch, Halloum. Find themselves an opportunity. I think Time Chasers were not expecting an extra touch there on the flank, and Trex was the last player in.
Great
Time
challenge.
Chasers just really went hard, and yeah, challenge was just sublime. Bad dudes get 1 back. But they might start clawing back a tad too late in this game one.
They have one at least. They have one. They can score against Time Chasers. And again, as is the case with Somic, it's not necessarily his fault, but you remove such a key piece of the machinery as Why Not Party out, and all of a sudden, problems start to arise. We have a second goal from Dr. Zool, 30 seconds to find a third.
That's through Threx being demolished, and Memphipai, I think he was out of boost. His jump was not efficient, trying to reach the ball with the back of his car, and he was so late for that challenge. Obviously, Trex's demolition completely screwed up the plans of Time Chasers, but then it's just the bad dudes on point. Could be another pass. Did he have it? Halloum, I think, that will be One Skunk waiting. The pass didn't come through, but the bad dudes once again put Time Chasers in such a threatening position.
Oh, Dr. Zool! If that had been on target, I think Somic would have saved it, but... Oh, hello, Halloum! It's an equalizer! 3-3, what a comeback!
My god, this is bad dudes. Well, might be their best week so far. Samic goes across. Samic didn't go and challenge the ball. Samic just flies past. Questionable, I suppose, but the effort was still there. 3 goals, and the bad dudes... start clawing up just at the right time. It seems our league back into the series as long as they can drop this one down carefully. We have an overtime in game 1, and right then, Time Chasers, what can you show?
From 3-0 down to 3-3 in OT against, on paper, by far the best team in the league. What an effort from Bad Dudes. And that's a big clearance downfield as well. Haloom, the end of it, a wayward shot to Somic. One skunk infield. Ew, that's a light touch as well. Oh, mix up in the midfield as well. And the pop-up there from Dr. Zool hands it off easily to Trex, although double miss from him and Somic. Haloom trying to get something on it. Does so. Good block. Minfipai chooses to go over to the side. Gets it onto the backboard. Dr. Zool away. Trex in field straight down to one skunk. Will get another big booming clearance. And that's straight to Dr. Zool. Surely a free shot. Minfipai remains on the backboard, and it's a good thing he did. He's able to carry it over the offense, and Haloom only able to put it off to the side. Pops it up over one. In comes Dr. Zool again. So quick to the ball. Minfipai wasn't going to be faked out by Haloom there. Good try from Haloom. Infield from Minfipai, but one skunk again on the backboard. Mega effort from all of these players. They're doing a sterling job. It's 1 minute gone of extra.
Oh, there you have it. Trex finally showing his face. Might actually score a goal immediately, still sticking with the ball. If Clear would have gotten straight to him, he would have put that into the net immediately. And that's once again the quality showing through. But just for a solid moment, Trex was playing the third fiddle to his team. And right now on this follow-up, Somic reads this well. Just for a second, it looked like it might be going into the net. Time Chasers, once again, just a day of surprises, day of new things for me. Time Chasers survived.
Oh, Dr. Zool, he worst off. He needed the pinch off the backboard, and it didn't come. That's unfortunate. 4-3, the final scoreline. Minfipai wins it for his team. That is Time Chasers 1. And Bad Dudes 0 in the series, but Bad Dudes have so much to look forward to going from this series on another day. It could very well have been a victory jam. I'm confident in saying that. The Time Chasers with Somic is fallible. There are flaws in the rotation, as is understandable when a sub comes in, especially so late. I think Bad Dudes, they have an opportunity here. They really do. And the likes of Backflip Boys and Black Diamond, they'll be urging them.
And of course, yes, get us into land, drop Time Chasers down, see if you can do this. And it is a possibility, just through the fact that the Bad Dudes are this week playing at the top of their ability, and they're getting results going. It's working out for them. Well, the Time Chasers, whether it's through the fact that Why Not Party is not playing this week, or due to them underestimating their opposition, they're not putting the same amount of pressure they perhaps would have wanted. Sometimes we saw just an avalanche of goals all of a sudden. The moment first was scored, then bam, everything else started happening for them as well. Yeah. And then it stopped, so it's still a possibility for them. It's just that they've dialed that down, and the Bad Dudes then scored, what was it? 3 in 80 seconds, I think? 3 in 90 seconds?
It was 3 in a minute and a half. Yeah. But it was 3 in 30 seconds for Time Chasers, and that's really what ultimately killed off the Bad Dudes, I think. Great to take it to OT, and another big save coming out from Dr. Zool early doors. But remember, Bad Dudes had the chance to go 1-0 up super early in the game. They just have to take those. They can't afford to miss them. One skunk, speaking of misses, off the side wall. It's popped up, and here comes Minfipai. Haloom, the saviour, once more. Going to try and pinch it off the side wall. One skunk in with a challenge, but more pressure coming in from the Time Chasers. Dr. Zool, light touch, Minfipai over the top of everyone. And once again, it's Dr. Zool in defense. I know he's been unlucky once or twice, but it falls on his shoulders once again, Jam. It's 1-0 Time Chasers.
Showing some patience on the side of Minfipai, just waits what his opponent will do. And seemingly that this patience is granting him the goals. It was how he scored his overtime goal to make sure that the Time Chasers get that game 1 under control finally. And here, just casually approaching that challenge and dunking on his opposition. while the bad dudes are struggling to clear the ball out of their own half. Their rotations, for most part, are still as solid as ever. And I'm loving that there's almost always somebody from bad dudes coming in and cleaning this up, even if the cleanup is indeed needed, because something has gone horribly awry. And it's just that against time chasers, you need an even extra to bring that in.
Double commit on the backboard. Haloom, the last in defense, gets the block in. Minfitby, infield pass, finds Trex, and he manages to skip his way past 2 defenders. And he manages to double the scoreline, 2-0.
I was thinking now these plays on the backboard, perhaps not as efficient. Ball is not that far away, but not reading the play well. Trex just approaching, getting his shot done. Dr. Zoo falling from the ceiling behind his teammate. Just nowhere near to a ball. And just he was wanted to be there in the replay. That's about it. That's the only thing that is there for him in that one. As more shots are coming in, and there you have it. Time chasers with the same pressure we've been expecting from them, with rotation just coming in on through. No more space given. And that's how the bad dudes are most likely going to start crumbling piece by piece, goal by goal, and just attack by time chasers.
I hate to say it, but once again, bad dudes, they're kind of playing up to being the form. Oh my word, Trex.
Close.
Madman. They are very much playing up to being the form team. Jam, there's number 3. They have been 3-0 swept by every team they have faced inside the top 4. And the way the game number 2 is going, it could be 3 out of 3.
It's something about Dr. Zoo who just keeps on going. We pointed him out, and not in a good way, in our very first series of the day as well. Just Haloom and Wanskunk, specifically Wanskunk, just doing some majestic stuff here. Oh, great save. Initial one, but just too many players coming in through. Minfitby right now, clean up squad, constantly being there, constantly making sure that the goal finally goes in. How did that just bounce back and roll back into the net? What a...
Trex got a touch, and
yeah,
then Minfitby fiddled through.
That's the only way we can possibly explain that. Wow, bad dudes are under even more threat than the game number 1. They can start once again clawing it back, and they did that to bring it into the overtime. Dr. Zul doesn't want to challenge Trex, and I don't think in that situation that was the correct decision. He was too far away from the net to return back and trying to make a save from that position, and I'm assuming he was just out of boost to do anything else from that point.
Freestyling, and that's Trex in a nutshell. 5-0, and we've only just arrived at half-time. Looking pretty bleak for the bad dudes, a far cry from their heroics in game number 1. Somic, is it going to be number 6? No, but it's an open net for Trex. And then Minfitby, that is number 6.
That's 4th for Minfitby, and they just don't stop. Dr. Zul with the flashes again. I think I've said enough about Dr. Zul and his approach to the defense right now. But yeah, this game is lost. There's no question about it. But if you don't take this game seriously, chances are you won't be able to switch back into the serious mode for the next game. And it's not helping. It's definitely not helping. And you need performances right now, even if you get it to a 6-2 to 6-3. It's still much better than a 6-0 that just shows no signs of stops.
They have to score. It's as simple as that. Infield pass. Oh, good win there in the midfield from Wanskunk. Trex takes out Haloom. And so it's basically 2v3 at this point. Trex with the running interference. And Minfitby going to throw this one downfield. Haloom only as far as the corner. Minfitby around said corner. And the double commit pinch works out. Trex. Haloom in field. And Somic away. Only as far as Dr. Zul, but it's a double commit on the offense again. Not that it really matters for time chasers. Minfitby towards the net. Dr. Zul. Why isn't that going straight down the pitch? It's off to the side. Haloom. Dr. Zul hoping for the 100 boost. Flops around. Flails around. Fails in making any sort of decent play. And that infield pass, surely no commitment from Minfitby or Trex. It seems they're happy with their 6.
Dr. Zul still on it. Actually, might drop it down one skunk too heavy on the approach. Would have perhaps benefited from him to drop the car upside down. And more chances, but by the point the second shot comes in, Minfitby is already there in defensive position. Bad dudes are not on targets. is on target.
Oh, wow.
I
Dr.
am
Zool.
speechless.
Brazil. One skunk, one in the pit. You got Dr. Zool, my friend. Maybe worth going to defense class. Woeful today in game number 2. 7-0. After a 4-3 thriller. I wasn't expecting another 7 goals. Oh, this is an open net, surely. The Brazil is here, and it's Skunk who scores.
All right. I mean, that's the only fun part, I think, for the bad dudes in this one. Although Brazil is never a good thing. They just can chuckle a little bit about it. Go quietly. Goal in your voice call or whatever. And then gear up for the next game, because the same performance can't possibly repeat. I hate to rattle on about the same player, the same mistakes, but unless Dr. Zoo really just refreshes himself, sometimes just somehow just resets and takes the basic approaches, the more teamworky approaches, just starts taking the right decisions, then I can see something happening from the bad dudes in the third game. Otherwise, it just can slide out of the control. The decision that Zul has been making were not working for his team, were not working for him, and definitely are not working for me. While I can't just spin it all down on him, but in that game, and in the series overall, I've seen more mistakes by him than by anyone on the side of the bad dudes.
I agree entirely. And it's quite funny, actually, that he ends up on top of the score sheet for bad dudes, because Halloum and one skunk were just finding nothing upfield, and that's mostly because that's all down to time chasers. Their midfield pressure, their rotations were as clean, as good as I've seen them this season, be it with Why Not Party or without. In fact, Sonic V2, looking at those stats, was nothing more than a passenger to the antics that Trexham and Fitby were getting up to. He was literally just filling in the last puzzle piece that they needed to create that wonderful jigsaw picture. And that's bruising for bad dudes. They are on the precipice of another 3-0 sweep. We know that they have it in them to score goals against time chasers. We know that they have it in them to potentially take the lead against time chasers. But they need to convert, and they need to shore up the defense.
They need to show up at every single facet of the field. Their defense was lacking at times. A lot of that comes down to the time chasers putting unrelenting pressure. Really, the amount of players they could continuously commit to the attack, again, just crumble bad dudes down eventually. And majority of the teams in the league were not giving bad dudes such a hard time. We're giving them more space. But when the time chasers go for it, there's sometimes no stopping them. Let's see if maybe there is a possibility. All right, a fake kickoff straight to... Oh, it's one of those. I see. Fake kickoff. 2 players going on the flanks, on the wall specifically, waiting for the pass to come, and then you skip that ball way fast on the other end of the field. Strategies. A kickoff strategy specifically coming in for time chaser. Not the first time today. And while they couldn't make that one work, whenever that works, it actually looks solid.
Raggedy defense once again. Oh, that's straight to Fitby! And that's 1-0 once again inside the first 30 seconds of a game.
Just a tad rough. One skunk goes straight hard into the ball and then backs out of it. Not into the net, then rotate in and sit into the net and try to make a save. He goes back. I feel like... I mean, watching this, it's easy for me to say that, I suppose. But in the end, looking at that replay, I see exactly what went wrong, and it's not looking lovely. By no means. Bad dudes, overloaded by players of time chasers, no question about that. But they also, with 3 players around the net, can figure out who's going to make that save.
Sidewall, this should be one skunks to deal with. It's near enough the target. I think it was just about going wide. Summit confirms the save. One skunk interestingly changing to the Fennec, looking for a bit more power on his shots and clears perhaps. He was previously in the Dominus. Trex infield pass. Oh, and then Fitby with the save on Somic. determined to deny the sub a goal. It's Trex versus Dr. Zool, and Dr. Zool, for the first time in about a game or so, produces a save that he needed to make.
It was a tricky one to make as well. Trex, while out of boost, tried to make it as tricky for defenders of Bad Dudes to guess where he was going to put it. And that upside down attempt could have snuck through. This might also snuck through, but look at that. Immediately someone coming in from the side of the Time Chasers. This is 101. If you're attacking, if you're making a shot and that shot doesn't make in, at the very least make it so that somebody can come in and take it. And Time Chasers have players in oodles. And that's how the pressure continues on. Bad Dudes survive in that attack and actually managed to bring it back in at a double commit, and I think Team Bump as well might give him a result, but a miss.
Oh, Dr. Zool, that was it. That was the equalizer. And he fluffed it. Dr. Zool goes round the world. Safe defending. The attempted pinch between Somic and Trex doesn't really work out. Is this going to be... Yes, it is, through Halum. Far corner, Trex. Again, Halum there. In fit by. One Skunk backs up. Stops the play at the midfield. Doesn't do much more with it though. Somic now. Over the top of one, off the backboard. Halum, good backboard defense. Mid fit by, surely on target. Oh, just off the post. So close to number 2, Time Chasers. I think they actually do need it. With Bad Dudes showing a bit of a resurgence. One Skunk fluffs. Dr. Zool goes high. One Skunk trying to play interference once again. Mid fit by takes him out. Halum onto the backboard once again. Is there anyone coming in? Yes, there is, and it's Dr. Zool. 1-1, 2 minutes.
I think it's very crucial that he put that ball off the ground anywhere straight up, and I think both Somic and Trex would have gotten it. Trex actually a little bit too late, but the fact that it was a bounce made Somic second guess himself. Somic didn't even reach that ball in time. Alrighty then. Bad Dudes find Time Chasers and immediately straight off the kickoff. And somebody's hunting the Time Chasers goalie rather in that situation already, making sure that they create an advantage for themselves. Double tap, not to be, but one Skunk retreats, then doesn't go back all the way. All the time, just between a rock and a hard place, and can't decide where he needs to be.
They've been going for those Drift King kickoffs. It's a weird one where you kind of like, you skip along the ground and then try and go sideways into the ball. It's sort of like a semi-fake. It's so risky though, because we've seen it already once before. And it led directly to a goal. That said, Bad Dudes on the offensive once more. Somic with a big save on Halum. And they're starting to bring out the bump plays of Bad Dudes. It's what saw them so much success against Mind Games. And it's working. Oh, what a touch! What a touch from Dr. Zool! Bad Dudes lead!
Any more than this, and I'm gonna be ready to forgive all the transgression by Dr. Zool in the previous series. This was inspirational. And the Bad Dudes with the lead, with goals getting more beautiful by the second. And Time Chasers honestly falling apart just a little bit.
Again.
There's that kickoff once again. They can convert it, but it is an interesting approach to those kickoffs, and I think it's not really hurting them. They're getting the ball on the other end of the field, and I think they can sort of feel that they can score at least 1 or 2 of these, and in a game this close, they might as well go for it. It is right now for Time Chasers. Time for them to finally gather up their spirits and figure out what has been going wrong for them, because this is the Time Chasers with the less consistent, less stable that I've seen them all throughout the series, maybe all throughout the season.
It was the one moment that the rotation failed them. It was an intended back pass from Somic, but Dr. Zool just remained up in the attack. Double commit once again. They have 15 seconds to hold on, and are they going to do it? No, they are not. The defense fails once more. 2-2.
Halum under Dr. Zool, not a good look. Why are you doing that, and why are you just... Halum, a spectator throughout that whole play. Ball manages to change 3 owners as the Time Chasers were bringing it through. All that time, Halum was just chasing it. At least one challenge on that flank didn't even happen. He wasn't in the nets to help out and make a save either. They might survive this yet, and especially with that clear, this will be an overtime, a second one in the series. Previous one was in game 1 where Time Chasers eventually took it. For the Bad Dudes, I think this is now or never. Really, if they don't get this, they're out of this, and Trex doesn't want to spend any extra time, individual effort, straight from the kickoff. and you would obviously expect something of this caliber from him. Hello, flip reset. Not even been a flip reset. I think he just rotated well into it. Is getting enough height on it. That's why I consider him to be the best player in the league, and he shows up.
I'd like to see both him and Why Not Party, and Why Not Time Chasers go for the rival series play-in next season, lads. There's so much skill, so much depth to this squad, and having Somic as a reliable there. That's why they have been penned as the best team in the league. And Bad Dudes, again, another spirited comeback jam. But talent ran out. And the form team, once again, lives up to form. Third time against the team inside the top 4. Third time they've been 3-0 swept.
Once again, they won't be that disheartened by what just transpired here. They were expected to lose again, Time Chasers. Those close games were part to the fact that the Bad Dudes, I think their improvement from the very beginning of the season, even at the start of the season, I thought maybe the Backflip Boys were showing up poorly in that very first game that we saw back in September. But really, a lot of this comes down to the Bad Dudes really seemingly knowing exactly where each other needs to be, how they can interplay in between each other, and man, really, by the week, they're seemingly to be bringing more and more great stuff. Didn't help them that they made a bunch of mistakes in this series, and compared to Mind Games Esports, the team against them was that much more punishing. But they came this close to bringing a couple of upsets. They will hopefully learn the right lessons from this one and come into next week to perhaps play spoiler, or at the very least try to leapfrog Imperial and see who's going to be that slightly higher team in the final standings. So more about this game that just transpired, because there's still a lot to talk still, I feel. And of course, we'll start talking about our very last game of today. That will be Imperial versus the Backflip Boys. Also, could be a pretty exciting one going any old way. So stay where you are, or at the very least go somewhere, but then be right back as we'll continue with BSL Rocket League action right here.
Ir mirkļi, kas nevar gaidīt. Paņem tos līdzi, lai kur tu būtu. Helio ITV televīzija, kas pielāgojas tev.
We're 1,000 miles from comfort. We have traveled land and sea. But as long as you are with me, there's no place I'd rather be. I would wait forever, exalted in the sea. As long as I am with you, my heart continues to beat. With every step we take, Kyoto to the bay, strolling so casually. We're different and the same. Yeah, you and us and me. Switch up the battery.
Helio piedāvā.
Mēs no tā visa varam uztaisīt kārtīgu weekend balīti. Tu esi Andris, kā vecajos laikos.
Lai kādos piedzīvojumos tu dotos, Helio ITV un Shortcut vienmēr tev līdzi. Skaties, kur un kā vēlies.
Folks, and for yet another time today, hello and welcome to some Rocket League action right here on BSL channel. George M with EuroLeague. So a series that could be that much closer, and we were sort of worried, or not worried is not the word. Sad, perhaps, that the bad dudes couldn't get at least one game against the Time Chasers because it was disappointed, not angry. Just disappointed the fact that they just couldn't take at least one game. It's taken a whole series against Time Chasers. Still, nobody has made that feat possible. But at the very least, take a game because they brought Time Chasers twice to an overtime. And especially in that third game where I feel like Time Chasers were looking the weakest. That could have been the best chance for the bad dudes to finally get something out of it. Not to be. And Time Chasers still continue undefeated and for good reasons, though. Despite them sometimes feeling weak or looking weak on the field, they still have enough power in their tanks that they can bring out a game such as this one. Stats on your screen, you see that their conversion rate was more than 40%. That amounts to a lot. They have been a lot of shots. You could see that on the field all the time because they didn't take that much chances to get the play done. More often than not, it was somebody making the initial shot and then the cleanup crew. More often than not, that was Mimfipai. For whatever reason, specifically today, it was just clicking for him. He was there in the second player spot, and sometimes the goals were just coming to him on a silver platter.
Yeah, it's very much a tiki-taka style. They've evolved from professional ball chasers in every sense of the word. And I called Somic perhaps a little unfairly a bit of a passenger in a couple of those games, but all he needed to do was the basics in defense, and overall he did that job pretty well, actually. I think the bad dudes showed up in games 1 and 3. we'll scratch game 2 off the books. I think that was a bit of an anomaly over the course of the series. I'm really looking forward to Bad Dudes in season 5, Jam. I think that's the big positive for them, is whether they choose to bring on new people or whether they choose to stay with the same roster. There's only small improvements that I really think that they have to make to become a real good contender. Doctors all fix your defense, and we might be talking about a team that could have taken games off Time Chasers.
Really, in that situation, they have a lot of basics going on for them. The most important, I feel like, is they know that to win against the teams, they need to move the ball around. They need to not just go for individual plays or chuck the ball into the opposition half and hope for the best. No, you need to really make sure that if you're moving the ball somewhere, you're moving that with intention. And the best intention is, of course, to bring it to your teammate, who then moves it perhaps to another teammate or back to you. They got that part pat down. Sometimes it's not working out for them, sometimes passes are still falling off, but the beginnings are there, and that's very important. And if they can continue improving on their weak spots, like as you mentioned, defense, sometimes they panic too much. I feel like the playing too close to each other can sometimes be a blessing, sometimes can be a curse, and they need to find that fine line and learn how to make it a blessing more often than a curse. And things will finally be working out for them if they can stay together as the squad for a longer period of time, get themselves some practice under the board. And yeah, in the next season, you might see Bad Dudes not just being content with staying in those survival spots, maybe even hitting a little bit harder against the teams who want to go to LAN.
I mean, a season ago, Jam, it was top 4 going to LAN. So if they come just a season earlier, then maybe we'd be talking about them going to Riga. But sadly, this isn't HyperTown. This is HyperTown Tallinn, and there's only 2 spots available.
Right, so next game will be on your screens in just a moment. That's the final series of today. It is Imperial versus the Backflip Boys, Ragus, Duvi, and Tegmata. And will be once again representing the yellow and white, I suppose, Imperial side. Well, the black and white Backflip Boys side, it's Garshuk, Cartoon, Sarius, another very familiar roster to us. And as I'm getting those, just a little bit of a comparison on the screen, there is some good news and bad news for the Backflip Boys. Good news is they know exactly what they need to do. The bad news is that they need to sweep both Imperial and was it the Time Chasers next week? I believe that was the Time Chasers.
Yeah, their final game is against Time Chase.
Uh-oh.
They need to sweep both them and Imperial. Keep in mind that they lost 3-0 to Black Diamond.
Rough. Absolutely rough for the Backflip Boys. And if they really want to make that repeat performance approach rival appearance, there you have it. Eventually made it to that very specific word I was looking for. They really need to show up. And Sarius perhaps would be their best bet right now. He's currently sitting smug, 4th in goals, 5th in assists. Well, he perhaps not working the saves as much. I feel like his teammate is also helping him out. And 2nd best shooting percentage. You know that if Sarius can make it going, then you're in a bit of a trouble. And today, Backflip Boys need to make sure that everything that they do needs to be as clean as possible. Otherwise, Ragus, Duvi, and Tegmata might as well. Just one game, that'll be enough. The whole hopes for the Backflip Boys are ruined.
Big shout out, by the way. Heku and Kids are here. Hello to all over 100 of you. It's great to see you. Welcome to BESL Rocket League Season 4. It's cool stuff. We're going into our last series. You might want to stay along because it's going to be a good one, I think. Backflip Boys, Jam. Sarius has popped off in the best way, but he's kind of needed to because Garsho and Katu, who were like one of the classic strike partnerships from last season, I wouldn't want to say they've gone MIA, but their influence on games has been desperately degraded over the course of this season, and that was really laid out to shame against Black Diamond, a team where I thought, okay, they're closely matched, probably going to be like a best of 5, and then they get swept. I can't see them 3-0 sweeping Imperial, but that's what they got to do. That's what they've got to do if they want to get to LAN. It's a best of 5 once again.
It's on their hands, and oh boy, I I wish them all the best. I wish them all the best as the team who have seen previously. It's just that, really, as you said, they haven't been here in the same format they've been in the previous season, and sometimes it just happens. We saw North America and RLCS completely being turned on its head with G2 and Cloud9 fighting for promotion relegation. So
Yeah.
even here, the Backflip Boys, one of the old guards, someone we have considered to be the second best team, or maybe the third best team. I'm forgetting exactly who was in the previous season. Third best team, exactly. We were immediately considering Weite and the Backflip Boys, both choices, the top 1 and 2.
And look, we're being somewhat harsh on them again. It's kind of part and parcel of the whole Tallinn package of there's only 2 spots to land. I do think the Backflip Boys are still the third best team in the league. But my issue is that they have become the third best team, allowing Team Black Diamond to overtake them when they're only one of 2 teams who have stuck together between seasons. I think they've been disappointing. I think they've disappointed themselves as well, to be fair. But they can still keep their LAN hopes alive. Not like that, though. Not like that at all. They just handed it off to Tagmata, and a rare goal for the Brit.
It's a rare time when Tagmata is first on the attack. Usually he cleans up after everything that Ragus and Duvi have set up, and not in a bad way. More so that he is there to make sure that the goal goes into net, or at the very least, if something goes awry, he's there to make sure that net is always defended.
Oh
Cardew
my word.
could have been an opportunity for a double tap. I think he was going for that one way or the other. But in time, the Imperial defenders retreat. But just look how long it took Tagmata and Duvi to return back into the net. One more player from the Backflip Boys, and that would have been a tying goal.
But again, Garsho and Kartu, last season, they would have had that sewn up with a bow on top. And yet they both... It was a good opportunity opened up, but then it was just a flat-out miss on what was an open net. Garsho does well to challenge in the air. Almost another own goal to add to the plethora of which we've had today. Kartu not able to suss out Ragis, who goes for the bump on Garsho. Open net! And that's a second of the day for Tagmata.
Okay, if anyone perhaps could have stepped up on the side of Imperial, as Tagmata is as good as it gets. And with a bump in the net, they just open up him an avenue to rush through and score the second one. Not through the trying of the Backflip Boys, really. It's just that the Imperial have a couple of good approaches and they're executing on them. They're creating chances for themselves, and so far their conversion rate is lovely.
Ragis. Again, it's another
That's good as it
lofted
gets.
pass. Tagmata! And he missed it. He had the hat-trick on a plate. And he missed at the worst time. 3-0, and this is really starting to get out of hand for Backflip Boys. In fact, they look woeful in defense at the moment. Finally, a breakthrough from Kartu, coming with a block in midfield more than anything else. It pinches out, and sadly for Garsho, taken out by Tagmata before he'd even hit the ball. Sarius, out from the back, hardly said his name today. A bump on Kartu. Demolished Kartu by Tagmata. He's popping off in game number 1. So quiet so far this season, yet here he is in full flow. Finally a breakaway chance, but Garsho's got no boost to work with. He would have needed it because Tagmata got back in time, makes the save.
And the Tagmata so far shows not only in attack but in defense as well. Majority of the save that his team has been making, crucial ones, the ones that avoided a surefire goal, were through Tagmata being in the right spot. When
Wide
nobody
again.
else was there, that's his main goal. But the fact that right now he's popping up and scoring the goals as well spell a lot of trouble for the Backflip Boys. You don't want to see Tagmata on fire.
Ragis. Oh, what a pass. What a pass! And once again, Tagmata denied. First by his talent running out, and second by the bar. Ragis, who's been running loose in the opponent half. Tagmata again, going for that hat-trick. Have Duvi and him exchanged roles today or something? Ragis again. First to the ball, and that's a drop down. That's 3-0. Too easy.
Too easy. He even took his sweet time to get back on the end of that one. Was looking like a waterfall, but he even had time to stop. Not drop and roll, but readjust himself and get to it. Barely Backflip Boys get to the player but not to the ball. And as the defense wide open that Imperial, of course, know how to execute them.
Sarius. They need to find a goal, and soon. Garsho. Oh, that's another good opportunity, but Kartu, why didn't you jump for that, my friend? This is as bad as I've ever seen Backflip Boys play. Garsho. Again, Tagmata gets there first. Infield from Sarius. Kartu not on the same wavelength. Duvi has so much time just to try and get it out. It ends up with Sarius. Can he try and drag his team back into this? No, doesn't come through. Garsho off the backboard. Picking up the 100 boost is Kartu in the midfield, waiting for an opportunity. And he just takes it back. Awful touches. Wasting more time. Finally a goal for Sarius. Open net. Open net twice. Backflip Boys. Dismal. Disastrous. Dare I say it, a Danny Boy ATM. Diabolical. And I don't use that word often. Still unable to score. Still unable to score. Shut out by Imperial. Worst performance of the season in a game from Backflip Boys, undoubtedly. And they can't make it to LAN at the first time of trying.
Wow. It's harsh to see all of your hopes, and for this season at the very least, not the all life's goals and everything, to be dashed just by one series, one game. But it has been down to the Backflip Boys not really holding a candle to the rest of the teams in this league. Yes, yeah. It's nice that they're 4-1 right now. It's not so nice the fact that they dropped that game, that they are just dropped yet another one, and that especially dropped it to Imperial, who really has been up and down and up and down.
Yeah.
It is rough for the Backflip Boys, but a lot of lessons seemingly need to be learned come next season. Even if they take this game, but by this point, none of these teams are playing for anything but some sort of the pride. We know that the Backflip Boys and Imperial will be staying there for next season. Is just that Backflip Boys definitely were aiming for more, and for Imperial, they were looking like a solid 4th spot team, I suppose, and seemingly that'll be the thereabouts where they'll be finished at the very end.
You know, Jam, I'm looking at Kartu, I'm looking at Garsho, and then I'm looking at the likes of Flakesy, KK. Good players who need a good team. I say the same thing to post-game strong as well. They have failed quite spectacularly here. I actually, going into this series, I had Backflip Boys to win 3-1. I thought that their chances of LAN were gone already. I thought Imperial was going to nick a game, but they need to do so much better than game number 1 if they are to even have a chance of winning. Tagmata, who, interestingly enough, has switched to the Imperator now. I am a big fan of the Imperator. It doesn't matter what vehicle you put him in, Jan. He's just going to keep on scoring. Today is the day that Tagmata turned up.
It's lovely. Just 2 misses on the flank. And Sarius, I'm not even sure how he got himself in that position, but he was just horizontal, or rather vertical, rather, in the net. Not even being able to save this. I know that the Backflip Boys are out of LAN host, but don't stop playing immediately. Rough, straight up, Kartu just barely making the save. Tagmata, top right corner, actually looking lovely. And knowing that the Backflip Boys just triple committed and they can quickly bring the ball back in through. Nope, clear comes in. And now the Backflip Boys are looking their same old selves. Just that the counterattack took, that attack against them took too many resources, and counterattack, they only were able to put 1 player up.
On the retreat, Ragus stops at the midfield. Kartu is called off by Sarius. Infield pass, surely one of them. Kartu and Garsho lining up to put that one away, and it's 1-1.
A lovely string of passes, and just finding your teammate in the midfield. That's how they usually plan it. That's how we see so many goals fall into place today. And that's how Backflip Boys do tab this game number 2. Ray of Light, which has been missing for the Backflip Boys for the past 6 minutes, I think, by this point. But it's only one thing. They still need to do that much more to be able to come out with a W in this series. And if Tagmata is still on fire, if Ragus and Duvi are on the same wavelength, then the backflip boys can only hope for sudden and miraculous improvement. And right now, it wasn't exactly looking like that.
Ragus up high, looking for Tagmata. Tagmata misses the touch. And allows Sarius to go infield to Garsho, helps it on towards the net. It's a banger, but it's also gone wide. Duvi with no boost here. A passenger in his own defense. Tagmata turns defender for the first time, it seems, this entire series. Sarius, infield. Garsho not willing to commit, and that's a good thing as well, because Ragus and Tagmata would have overloaded him. Oh, what a touch from Ragus there again. Kartu straight out to Duvi. But the defense holds for now. Duvi again pops it up over one. Sarius. Another touch, another interference, but Tagmata! Where were these goals? He was saving them for this series, it seems.
I would call this the important series, but Imperial are not going to land. They're not out of the league yet either. It's just that seemingly Tagmata has something against the back of the boys. He doesn't want them to go to land, and it's nice to see Tagmata being that, because a couple of times, a couple of weeks, he wasn't looking his quality self. Feeling under the weather, not feeling up to par, just having a bad day perhaps. But today, I've been musing who might be the MVP of this week. And right now, out of everything that we've seen today, discounting yet another brilliant performance by the Time Chasers, although being this close to a loss, I feel like Tagmata is eager to get that MVP, not the title, but just the accolades for this week.
Did you see that he got that extra little touch off the backboard just to slow the ball down a little bit to help Ragus with his shot? 3-1. And a complete turnaround again. Flipping the script. Duvi dances past one. No boost to work with. Gets the block on Sarius. Buys his team time. Tagmata. Misses the touch. Ragus comes in though. These two forming quite a nice partnership in the striking department today. Sarius. Again, Tagmata. Easy stop. And Tagmata once again, it's him versus Kartu. Ragus is central. Nice pop-up from Tagmata. Dealt with by Garsho.
Working out pretty well. The setup is there. The backflip boys, while they're following it through, the fact that the setup is there is already incredibly threatening from Imperial. And I just showed that they can get past the backflip boys, not just get past the boys, organize some good play in between each other as well. Imperial, the passing play is Imperial, but the defense is a little bit off. Tagmata, I think, already thinking, Duvi will bring this through. But a good challenge on the flank, and the ball just goes straight past him. Not even any boost on that wall. Tagmata was just rushing forward, thinking the deal was done. Not to be.
It's like a kangaroo, so majestic, leaping up into the air and bringing his team back to a 1-goal difference. Out from the back, Tagmata finds... Oh, he would have found Duvi if the connection had been made. Ragged, just wide. Tagmata on target. Kartu with the save. Raggis up high again. And Sarius left with the backflip. Duvi wastes time a little bit. Tagmata now comes in. Garsho finally with the clears, but Duvi straight away back into the middle. Raggis central. And Raggis, oh my word! What a goal!
And that's even with Tagmata. You will see them on the replay just a moment. Also going for that ball, trying to backs out just at the right moment. He's just going upside down and everywhere, Raggis. Alright, if we're getting any best goals of the season, this should be on a highlight reel.
That was a special goal. And let's not discount the super early read from Duvi to get it, to meet the challenge, to get it up in the air, and then the ball did not touch the ground in that entire passage of play. Amazing goal. We can talk about backflip boys underperforming all we like. Imperial is playing well. This switch between defense and offense for Duvi and Tagmata is working an absolute treat. Tagmata, speaking of the man, flicks it up. Raggis looking for another aerial goal. Doesn't have enough boost to work with, but there's Duvi getting in on the action. 5-2. The clapping is happening for the poor old backflip boys.
Oof, is all I can say about that one. You see the Imperial just setting up a solid play. They have the players in position. They are approaching it well. The backflip boys, is just challenge after a challenge after a challenge is missing. It was going downhill really for the majority of this game. Glimmer of hope, then completely back into the darkness. Second one in a row for Imperial. And while there's still a hope for the Backflip Boys to turn the series back, get a reverse sweep of the whole league history. Or at least the second in the season. Again, it escapes me just a little bit. This could be marked as the black day for the Backflip Boys on the calendar. This is death.
I was going to say, you say black day, I'm going to say death day. We've seen 3 teams out the 4 that went to Season 3 LAN. Disband, change it up, whatever you want to call it. We are not a thing anymore. Spectre, not a thing anymore. The only reason that we mention professional ball chasers as continuing on in some fashion is because professional ball chasers as an org bought out by Time Chasers. Why Not Party was the only survivor of that roster, though. And so can we really call it professional ball chasers? Maybe. Backflip Boys was the only team that stuck together. I think they've got to change something, Jam, because whatever's happened between Season 3 and Season 4, it's not working anymore. It's not working anymore. And like I say, there are plenty of good players waiting in the wings, players that have already been eliminated from the BESL for another season, players who will be looking to move their way up the order to play with lights. I mean, Sarius, poor old Sarius, has been carrying this team for much of this season. Might he be setting his sights upwards as well?
It is absolutely possible. And the talent in many of these players is undeniable. And I feel like the shakeups might as well happen. The Backflip Boys, they had a good season last time, no denying that. They went to LAN. It also could be the fact that we have so many new teams, new guard, really coming in through, and they might be just a little bit too much to chew for the Backflip Boys. Everything that's been working for them previously, perhaps too easy for them, is no longer the case. But we might see the big roster moves. Good start from Sarius, getting Backflip Boys on the right foot in a 9 seconds straight off the start. As Imperial, well, gotta make it a little bit harder on themselves.
It is a good start, but they need to hold it now. Their defense has been awful. Their offense has been wasteful, Backflip Boys. And quite frankly, Imperial has, wait for it, outclassed them. Again, sorry folks, my bad. Sorry, calculated. Good offensive pressure from Backflip Boys once again. Garsho, infield. Is that on target? No, it's just going wide. Doobie makes sure to push it wide. Doobie continuing the clearance. Stop to the midfield. Raggis doesn't get the touch. Oh, that's an open net. Well, that's the first time the Backflip Boys have found themselves with a 2-goal lead.
Again, Tigmata decides that this is the done deal, retreats all the way back and search for a boost. The boost wasn't even there, I don't think so. Was he expecting to just sit on there? But reliance on his teammate to make a challenge not always works, and that decision by Tigmata just cost Imperial a goal. And 2-0 is now a much more serious business to be talking about. Yes, Imperial have been scoring bunches. You really don't want to play from behind in the first minute of play. Great touch! If only Raggis could get on the end of that one. Tigmata's still waiting. He stayed in the attack. Lovely. I thought he was watching the play, but even with 0 boost, he managed to find the rest of the Backflip Boys. And since Carter was just bounced back into that goal, no more players in the Backflip Boys anywhere near that final third.
Can someone check that Why Not Party isn't playing as Tagmata today? Because I'm pretty sure, Jam, I'm pretty sure that he has scored more goals in this series than he has done the entire season.
That is a bold statement. I don't think that is correct, but it'll be interesting to check. 14 goals in this season so far for him. So, not exactly. He is... I think he's... Yeah, he's third in saves at this point. So, his main claim to fame so far for the Imperial season was he was defensive player. But look at that.
So he scored 14 goals going into this week.
Yeah.
Well, he's just scored 50% more of what he did in the entire season so far. That's 2-2.
And yeah, it's even if it's why not party, at least he masks himself well. He has that cone on his car, and Tagmata, of course, is the cone man. And the moment they let the beast out of the cage, seemingly Tagmata is even more suited for the attack that he is for the defense. It's just that he can do both, and he decided, hey, he needs to go for the attack finally. But if he had to decide, for the starters, Imperial wanted him in the defense.
Backflip boys don't know what to do. Hero was thinking, hey, maybe they might at least win a game. And now even that's in doubt. Tagmata. Going for the demo as well. He's sorted out like a homing missile. Not to be punished. Garsho. Kartu sees the net and he skiffs his shot. Tagmata out from the back. Has he been taking like courses or something, Jam? Because he looks a totally different player.
I would say it's the Imperator, but he didn't play on the Imperator in the very first game.
No.
God knows, great attempt at a touch from that angle, very awkward. But he stayed, he saw the opportunity. He went for it right now. For Imperial, really just go for anything. The backflip boys are not that down their necks that they can attempt something like that. And really, I'm loving the new Tagmata, at the very least the offensive Tagmata, that much better than the defensive Tagmata, because in defense it was rough for him. Not every single day Ragus and Dudu were able to perform up front, but now that Tagmata finally decided, I'm gonna be up there front, getting MVPs, being the star, it is working oh so well for Imperial.
I'm loving this character development. Loving it. I'm here. Garsho. Oh, Kartu taking out Ragus actually, so a little bit light on defense, but again, Tagmata stays strong. Little boost to work with, but he sees the net ahead of him, tries to go flick up Garsho with a big stop, and Tagmata boost steals as well for good measure. Garsho just keeping the ball in his half, good control. And now it's to Kartu, goes for the flick himself off the bar, and no one coming in to finish it up. Sarius blocks Garsho over to the corner, doesn't get the second touch. Ragus is 1v3 now as Garsho rushes back. Good hold up play. Sarius, booming clearance down into the midfield once more. Tagmata picks it up and sends it back to sender. Garsho. Off the top of the cage. No boost. Gets the block though. A little bit fortuitous. And inwards there from Sarius. Kartu goes high again. That was the goal. That was the go-ahead goal they needed. Surely Garsho now inward. Surely Kartu. Finally. So many bites of the cherry jam. It's frustrating to watch.
Duvey in the net, just trying to make anything possible from his situation. Just too many flips. That last one, actually, he was close enough. But he flipped not upwards, didn't get a second jump to the side. He concedes that, and Imperial just allowed backflip boys to take way too many chances. Way too empty of a space in front of that Imperial net. And you can't give backflip boys even an inch, because even in their situation right now, when they're underperforming, they will still try to take as much as possible. But we had some crazy games today, our league. Even in the final seconds, goal have been scored. And Imperial want to make it a 3-0 and really put a sour taste in backflip boys' mouth.
Oh, but they've overloaded them on the defense here, and Tagmata for Kartu to finish it! And he can't. He does actually hit the... does kind of finish it. The backflip boys are not going to be swept on this day. They managed to scavenge a win out of another really poor performance by their usual standards. They've given themselves a lifeline in this series, Jam, but they've not given me much hope that they're going to convert that into a reverse sweep.
A reverse sweep is still a far cry for the backflip boys. This game has been close. This game had... This game definitely we're looking a little bit more timid from Imperial side. You could see Ragus and Duvey perhaps not stepping up to the same plate as they were doing in the first and the second game. And while Tagmata is still up front, still trying to bang those goals, just like you can't rely on Tagmata all the way through in the defense, you can't rely on Tagmata just scoring everything. So for Duvey and Ragus, hey, remember those first two games? You were great in those. You were just following Tagmata everywhere, feeling the same high as he was feeling. Let's try and replicate that, because backflip boys are very, very vulnerable. It only takes just one tip and they will follow.
I think Ragas was closed down so much in that series. Everything in his past 2 games came off for him. In this game, nothing came off for him. So, will it be a return to form in game number 4? Will it be Backflip Boys taking that win and running with it to extend the series out to the 5-game thriller that I was hoping it might well be? Backflip Boys. Is there pride on the line at this point, Jam?
It is nothing more but pride. As we mentioned, after the very first game, dropping even 1 kills Backflip Boys' chances based on their position in the league. They were winning enough games, I suppose, but their goal difference just does not hold a candle to what the Time Chasers and the Black Diamonds have been showing. And nobody to blame but themselves, really. Maybe they came into the season really thinking we just can do the same old. Same old just no longer works. You need to innovate. You need to be ready for anything. You need to constantly improve. And for them, they have a chance to improve throughout the series, I suppose. They were looking a little bit more dangerous in front of the Imperial's net, and Imperial not being able to do everything as well as they've been doing previously. Also is bringing a mark. So Backflip Boys, at the very least, they see that the series is not lost completely. No. But it's a tough task, and since throughout the season, sometimes they were not pulling their weight, Backflip Boys might once again fall sideways to their timidness, to their let's not give it all 100% on a field approach.
I applauded Tagmata for his character development. I would love to see the redemption arc coming through from Backflip Boys. They've been below par for the last couple of weeks, arguably for this season in general. And I do hope that they give them a good account of themselves. At least make this game number 4 competitive, even if they do go out as losers. We apologize, by the way, for the brief delay. Just wanted to get a new server for the players to make sure that everything is to our competitive standards here at BESL. Welcome, by the way, if you're just joining us, our final series of the day. The 5th to last series of the season, Jam. It's gone so quickly, as is life, it seems. I can't believe that 2019 is almost at an end. November? What? How did that happen? Let's get into game number 4, though. I'm ready to rush in. Excited to see how this concludes. We kick off once again on Champions Field. Garsho misses his touch infield. Sarius on hand to keep the pressure on. Into the corner. The bounce will fall favourably for Kartu. Up high. And there's another early goal. Sarius again getting them off to a good start. Do not discount the impact from Kartu, though. He committed the defence. Mistake from Tagmata and Duvi, I feel. They're a double commit. But that's exactly what Backflip Boys need.
Starting off strong in the Backflip Boys, this early lead gives them a lot more freedom in the remaining 5 minutes, and knowing that the Imperial seemingly were just a tad asleep at that attempt, Tagmata, to me, feels him on the backboard would be much more beneficial for that defense, but they concede immediately, and now we'll have to play with a handicap against them. Tagmata is still there. By the way, Tagmata back into his Batmobile. Yeah. Without a cone as well. So interesting enough. So serious mode, it seems, for him. No more funds. Imperator served him just for a bit. Maybe back now he needs something much more familiar to him. He needs to have that consistency. He needs to have that familiarity. And Imperial, preferably, we need that game number 4 in their favor.
He's Tagmata. It's a Batman joke, I'm sorry. I should just stop comedy. We already had the comedy earlier on the day.
But it was... it was comedy mixed with tragedy, really.
It was bad comedy, that's what it was. Garsho with the save. There was a bit of a feels bad backflip moment from him earlier when he could have had a shot. Thought it was worth mentioning just because the mistakes are still coming out from Backflip Boys in offense. Kartu. Tagmata. Sends it right back into the other side of the court. Pitch court. It's hard to tell with the scale of these cars, of course. Kartu completely misreading that judge. Misjudging the read. There you go. Get my words in. Sarius, is that a goal or just wide?
I would assume that misreading of the judge is when you really give a horrible testimony in court and then, just doesn't really go your way. Imperial, I feel like it's cloudy days for them. All of a sudden, they are no longer recognizing the plays from each other, no longer finding themselves on the field as easily as previously. And some of their decisions are questionable at best and tragic at worst. And the Backflip boys, well, they're still sitting on just one goal. It's not allowing Imperial to get back into action with a tying one.
See, this is the Imperial I was more expecting at the start of this series. So the bad juju juice has been passed on. It's been passed around the table. It's reached Imperial, and now they're realizing, uh-oh, we've been poisoned here. None of the plays coming off, and the defense holding strong from Backflip boys. Good touch here from Kartu to escape Raggis, although Tagmata comes in. Sarius in net, though. Going to throw this one downfield. Not a great clearance, but Garsho was rotating in. Gets a better clearance, although straight to Raggis once again. Dubie with the unintentional pop-up allows the counter-attack for Sarius, but Tagmata in the defense, as he has been for a lot more this game than in previous games. He deals with it well enough for the second time of asking.
I don't think it's by his choice, though. It's the fact that the Backflip boys have that much more possession, that much more pressure, and partly it's down to the Backflip boys just making sure that this happens. And unfortunately, partly it's due to the fact that the Imperial just can't hold on to the ball. Their attacks are no longer as threatening, and their cohesion in between each other. This would be a lovely touch. This gets past everyone. And Raggis shocks everyone on the field, including us, the casters, with the tiniest of the touches. Doink.
Oh, what a goal.
Enough said.
He's had some good ones today, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. And really, they need that. They need not just Tagmata being all of a sudden the powerhouse up front in the attack. They need Raggis, and sure as heck, they need Dewey if they want to get something out of this. Demos and more setups, perhaps passing plays. No. My biggest problem right now with Imperial, they abandon so many plays. I feel like you can... Sometimes they don't even have to risk it. They just say, not interested. And chances just lost. Stolen.
Yes. It was just a double commit in net. Criminal. And that was a hee-hee as Tagmata stole that one. 2-1. And Backflip boys are left stunned, flat-footed. All that pressure in the first 2 minutes gone to waste.
Couldn't use it, despite Imperial at times really just slowly falling apart at the seams. Not to the very end, but it still works. All right, Dubie and Raggis, better be careful. Those double commits will come costly. There's 40 seconds remaining, but 1 goal difference. You make that mistake at a crucial point, and you can kiss your lead in this game goodbye. And there you have it, the setup. Another series of improper touches. Tagmata was trying to stick with the ball, but not bringing it high enough. And Kartu, what a perfect setup for Garsho in the air.
Is that the first goal he scored all series? I think so. Certainly the first time he's probably hit the target with a decent shot all series. 2-2. Wayward ball. Sarius picks it up around the corner. Dubie blocks and fails to stop Garsho from bringing this round. The big clearance finally coming out from Raggis. Kartu goes under. Straight to the backboard. Looking for the 100 boost. Shot on target from Garsho. Sarius to the side. Honestly, just holding on till OT would probably be a good result here for Backflip boys. Reset everything. Kartu. He's not going to get there before Tagmata. Sarius keeping it up. Oh no! Oh no! Dubie! Oh God! What? What? How did that go to overtime?
How that didn't go in is my question as well.
Ooh.
That was a miss. This didn't even need any help for Imperial players coming in through. That was a pure miss. And if the whole series would have been hinging on that buzzer beater, this would, I mean, from bad day, from dark day to death day to God knows what else. Apocalypse from Backflip boys, but they survived, if only by the width of a couple Unreal Engine units, or whatever that might be over there.
I'm convinced it didn't hit the ground jam. We need to do some X-Files digging here. I'm convinced that didn't hit the ground.
I'm gonna save that replay. I'm gonna watch and see exactly what happened. And we might need some CSI enhanced action over there as well. But back into this one, almost a minute have passed. Both teams trying to shake off the weird things that were happening in regulation time. So far, nobody's running with it. No full-on control, but this could be it. No, Ragus! Sarius could have had it, but this is not a team pinch, a team pass that you've been looking for.
On the knife edge, this one then. As Sarius throws it over to the wall. Tagmata clears. Garsho. Straight to Ragus off the top of the cage. Sarius downfield. Tagmata goes up high. It's only him and Garsho. Garsho was getting the touch infield from Sarius. Duvi with the pinch here with a teammate to get it away. Kartu straight back in. Stretching the defense. Expending defensive boost. And Garsho again. So many good shots on target now. He's starting to come to his own. But everyone after the goal has been met with a defender.
Imperial are struggling to bring the ball out of their own half. The backfield boys are reading every single clear well. Having some players to always do something and running out of boost and running out of options. Imperial are close to conceding just to the fact that the opposition outlasts them, out-staminas them. And for backfield boys, if they can continue the same level of pressure, then the goal might come any second now. Lovely read by Ragus. He had to make that, otherwise Cardo had a brilliant shot on target.
Oh, well, look at this for a pass. Oh, Ragus just inches away from getting on the end of it. Garsho not able to carry it over Duvi. Is there a third man yet? Kartu. It's not the greatest clearance, though. Garsho with the pass back? What are you doing? He gets the save off. It's not even a save, really, but he stops Ragus from getting a shot towards the net. Tagmata. Tagmata, the impossible angle. Kartu met him. Ragus now not got enough boost to do his heroics from earlier on in the series. Duvi, no boost to work with. Tagmata takes control. Ragus goes wide. 3 minutes of OT played, and now it's backflip boys on the counteroffensive. No, stopped. Garsho's the last one there. Kartu, what a touch from him. That was a certain goal.
And with the player demolished, especially, I think they've exchanged roles. Our league, the backflip boys are now on the back foot, and it's Imperial trying everything they can and really succeeding in many of those things. I feel like if another demo comes out at a crucial point. No, it's not a demo. It's just a dunk down Kartu. I would love to see something like that again. Yoink! And there you have it. 3-2, and the backflip boys are staying alive in the series. We're going to game number 5 of our league. To end the day,
number 5.
Nothing better than this to make it just a tad more exciting. Just couldn't hold on to that game, Imperial, and the backflip boys barely couldn't hold on to that game either themselves.
I mean, listen, we're talking pixels.
Replay. Thanks for reminding me.
How on earth did that go to OT? That should have been game set match. Imperial win the series 3-1. Backflip boys, oh my, even in OT they struggled, but they've been able to grind it out. That is the sign of a team that's not willing to give up, and fair play to all 3 of those players, especially Garsho. He came alive in the final 4 minutes of gameplay there.
They needed that. They needed every single player from the backflip boys to just step up, a couple of steps up, if not more. Garcia made it at a crucial moment, keeping his team alive, because, well, it's still only for the pride for the backflip boys. They like to leave the series with their pride at least not completely torn to pieces, and for that they really need this victory. They have been on an up and up, but there's one more game standing in between them and Imperial, and it still might turn around and be absolutely heartbreaking for the backflip boys for their second loss of the season.
Okay. Was the talk about splitting up the team, the iconic trio, premature? Maybe. Maybe so. I'll be willing to admit that I was wrong if we see more improvement in game number 5. Can backflip boys complete the reverse sweep? So close to getting another goal on the board in the first second, but for a magnificent Tagmata save. Sarius. It's Tagmata with the win of the challenge. And the save coming through after Duvi's shot. Sarius over the top of Ragis. He's going to pick up this block. He picks up the 100 now, but downfield! Downtown! It goes from Ragis. And that's 1-0. That's advantage, Imperial.
That's the speediest minute of play we've seen from Imperial and Backflip Boys in this series. Both teams forgetting that there's even such a thing as a break or reverse pedal. Straight up down, no stopping. And seemingly in that quick approach, Imperial do get their first Ragis with great reason have been making so far in this game. And is making sure that the Imperial, for the first time in the past 2 games, starts the game with a goal. Previously it was all Backflip Boys managing to get their lead extended and eventually getting the game as well. Maybe this redirect inches away from the ball as Cardu. That redirect could have spelled goal.
And that's what I'm really worried about, Jam. The only games the Backflip Boys have won is when they scored the first goal. And they need to equalize them fast if they want to try and regain some confidence. Otherwise, I can see Panic very quickly coming back in. Confidence starting to rise from Imperial. Inward pass from the backboard. Duvi goes high. Sarius allowed to clear, but it's another... Oh, so clearance. I would have liked to see a bit more oomph behind it, but it worked out for the moment. Kartu. Save. Tagmata. Save. Sarius downfield. Looking for the open net. Duvi returns. Gets the save. Kartu. Infield again. With the rotations coming in strong from Imperial. They've got the lead, Jam. They don't need to overextend themselves. But a double commit there from Duvi and Ragis. Those are the mistakes that they need to cut out.
It's going to be rough for them in the remaining half of this game, but hey, you sign up for this. You should be ready for this, and it should be maybe not as close for the Backflip Boys, but they know exactly what they did for many of these challenges. Not the first challenge we've seen today. A good touch, perhaps you can call it even a pinch off the wall, and the whole defense being beaten because they don't expect the ball suddenly carom straight behind them. This is something they should really be expecting, or should be ready for. Otherwise, some open net looks. Great rotation for Tagmata, immediately realizing what's going to happen.
Duvi. Some pressure now coming out from Backflip Boys. Kartu, infield pass. There's Sarius in the midfield. What a drop down. What a goal. 1-1.
Lovely stuff, Backflip Boys. Wait for their moment. Look for their opportunity. While mistakes previously have been happening, it's the fact that they had Sarius in the air, ready to drop it down. Not just for the net, for Kartu, who continued the play. He was hunting for anything, for the ball, for the bump, for any opportunities to bring it into the net. They find it, they tie up the game, and no longer playing from behind. They might look lovely for 10 or so seconds, and then quick play. Garsho just does not touch it. He was there, he did a little bit of a skip, hop, and jump, and then put Sarius in such an awkward position.
Tell you what, fair play to Sarius. He almost got to that as well. But as soon, and this is what I was afraid of, as soon as Backflip Boys equalise. Oh, hello. Oh, they were beaten. They were pegged back so quickly. They were so close to pegging back after the pegging back happened.
Reverse
Sarius
pegging
millimeters
back.
away. Oh, hello. Another good infield pass. Tagmata straight out to Garsho. Off the wall, Ragis, that's a good clearance, and surely this needs an extra touch. It's Kartu, and finally Garsho away off the backboard, but once again, it's a minute and a half, and Imperial dominance starting to come through. Duvi with a goal, and that's a 2-goal lead. That could have won them the series.
I wasn't looking for them to get anything out of this challenge, but Kartu and Sarius in the same spot at the same time. And Garsho, perhaps too invested in the play, not recognizing the shot coming in through either. Backflip Boys, pretty much all of them grounded and not reading the play.
They need to find 2 in the space of a minute and 20. But Imperial want more. Tagmata, a rarity for him, goes wide. Ragis. Oh, beaten out. Sarius is there looking for the pass. Is someone there? Is someone there? Garsho. Oh, the angle just... It was like a ticking time bomb, and sadly it exploded before any of the Backflip Boys could get there. Minute left. Ragis. Sarius with the touch down from the ceiling. Tagmata takes out Kartu. Garsho downfield. Open net. And Sarius confirms it. 1 goal. 45 seconds left.
Yet another one from the backflip boys, reducing the lead of their opposition, and with a great series of bumps and vision on the field, making sure that Imperial have absolutely nobody even close to this. But at 45 seconds, well, it is doable for the backflip boys. Playing from behind is something, I wouldn't exactly say this is their forte. It'll be hard for them in the remaining time allotted, especially if something like this happens. Two players on the same ball, they're forced to retreat immediately. Bam, there's your 15 seconds wasted.
And it was silly from Saria, so often the hero, and now the villain. Giving away possession, and Imperial did not waste it.
And just one great job. That was, I think, a demolition of one of the backflip boys players as well. And Kartu, did his controller disconnect this time? Was he out of the boost?
No, it was too... A, it was too fast a shot. B, he was in the wrong position to begin with. I don't think there was much he could have done there because the ball should never have been shot on target in the first place.
That's true. It's just that his reaction time seems so, like, delayed, as if he's playing on 200 ping. Oh, this is... had intentions of dropping straight down in. This is...
It's gone.
Clean up duty. 5-2. There's no getting back from this. Backflip boys were within one goal. Now, in a matter of about 30 seconds.
It's like a Duvey hat trick in like 45 seconds.
Yeah, it's Duvey saying, it has been fun. Thanks for playing with us, but we're going to take it from here. Not the most convincing series from Imperial. Definitely not the most convincing series for the backflip boys, but it had to end somehow in this game 5. And Imperial should be feeling pretty proud about themselves. They've found themselves some new strategies they can definitely utilize later on. And Tagmata in the attack is the Tagmata I'm liking very, very much indeed.
Backflip boys, though. We've been asking the questions for a lot of this season. We really posed them big time in this series. And I was thinking maybe there's the slightest glimmer of hope of a reverse sweep. And they couldn't do it, Jam. I would say they are not even the third best team in the league any longer. I think that title is up for debate. And if they are to progress forward as a team, if they are to stay together as a team, what needs to change? Because it feels like at one moment or another there was just something lacking.
It is a tale, I think, for pretty long and deep analysis from the backflip boys. Their season has been sent down to the dumps, and partly it was their own undoing. I don't think they were ready for the level of competition that the season 4 of BSL will be showing against them. It just was not working the same way it has been working previously. They have managed to get in onto land spots last season because 4 teams were qualifying here. I don't think they will drop lower than lower than third that they're currently occupying. For that, a couple of big changes will have to happen right now. I don't think it's even. The only way I think it's possible if the backflip boys lose 3-0 to the Time Chasers, which is a possibility, although Time Chasers had their up and downs, and Imperial also sweep their opposition during last week, which are the Bad Dudes, which is, well, doable. Bad Dudes have been on the up and up, and this is going to be pretty tough.
Well, here's the thing as well, though. If Bad Dudes continue being the form team, Jam, then that's a 3-0 sweep. Because Imperial are a top 4 team.
Right. Interesting. Well, that is, I suppose, as much as I can tell about it. Let's quickly take a peek at exactly what is remaining from these teams at the very end of that matchup. So you see Imperial and the backflip boys on your screens. Backflip boys finishing was just not up to par. They've put 47 shots against 51 of the Imperial side, but you could see just how many more went in on target. Props to backflip boys, every single one of these goals was assisted. So while it wasn't perhaps looking every single time like it, they still know that moving the ball around and having all the players get some form of connection makes the games. Is just that it wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough.
Can I just throw a thought out there, Jam? The goals which wouldn't have been assisted were the goals that they were missing.
That's true.
And that's I mean, They were so wasteful. It's been a problem all season, to be fair. They've been so wasteful. Garsho and Kartu in particular, again, they were the strike partnership to be envious of last season. Working so well together. Sarius, that creative force. The fact that Sarius has had to come out basically on his lonesome as a big old striking threat, that was immediately raising red flags about the form of Garsho and Kartu. And okay, Garsho had a good moment here and there. Kartu had a good moment here or there. But Sarius cannot, at this level, carry a team on the back of his shoulders. Maybe against someone like Mind Game or Post Game Strong. Yes, sure, that's a possibility. But although Imperial haven't been spectacular, they have been super solid. And that solidity and that new role for Tagmata completely undid them this series.
And I think with that, no question for me who's MVP going to be for this week. It's going to be Tagmata. His
got to be
rebirth, his phoenix raising from, he wasn't really exactly in the ashes, but it wasn't working out for them. Being extra good in the defense only gets you so far, and if you make a save but then your teammates can get there and then you can create anything in the attack because you're sitting way too deep looking for opportunities or making sure that your defense is as safe as ever. Yeah, it wasn't always working for Imperial. They still get 4 wins, but only 2 losses, and still have a possibility to take a 5-2 at the very end of the season, which is a very respectable result. And It's just that does not get them to land, and there still have been a lot of questions for Imperial. Not every single week they've been showing up. They've not been as solid as I would have expected for them. And as I've said, Tagmata just can't possibly carry the team on the shoulders, being in all places of the field at once. We've seen some of these teams playing like that. It is rough, and again, someone who has 3 players who perhaps are a level lower but are coherent, know exactly what needs to be done. That 1-star player to passengers, teams just fall.
Yes, 100%. Whoa, what a week. What a week. We have a team of great synergy in days gone by being torn apart. One of the most bizarre games of Rocket League I've ever seen in my life. And a team that has played to the form book perfectly, Jam. Bit of everything.
And that's been a lovely day, and we've seen the deepest of the pits of despair and some fantastic stuff. Credit to the bad dudes who have shown up this week. Even against Time Chasers, 2 of the games that they've managed to bring into the overtime, that already says a lot about how well they've been playing in that series. Post Game Strong, congratulations to them on their first win in the season so far. And to the Backflip boys, commiserations, all I can say.
Yeah. Final week coming up, Jam.
Oof.
Final week. And actually, for the first time this season, we know what the games are going to be. So, we could do like a little preview, maybe? Do you have time for that?
A little sneak peek. Yep, actually, let's quickly look into the next week. I want to be able to show it to you on screens, but the next week matches, that's the final 7th week of the BSL action before we take a break, before we go to Tallinn. More about that later. Imperial versus the Bad Dudes. Post Game Strong. Now, with a win, we'll be playing against Mind Games ESPORTS, who is the only team without a win. Team Black Diamonds against Team Small Brain. It is a rough one for Team Small Brain, especially after today's performance against Post Game Strong. And something that I've been thinking of as the culmination of the season, and it would have been that if it wasn't for some oofs. Time Chasers versus the Backflip Boys. It will be closing out our season in our week 7. And it still might throw a little bit of wrenches here and there. But I do believe if we take a peek at our standings right now, Time Chasers.
Yes.
100% guaranteed to go to land because they haven't lost a single series. Team Black Diamond, 100% guaranteed to land because the Backflip Boys just can't catch up to them. Whatever they do, even if they go 5-2 and then Team Black Diamond drop their series, they just can't catch up. They need to lose best of 7's worth of games to make any difference. Imperial will be sitting in that comfy spot. They're not out. There might be some shuffling between them and the Bad Dudes, if I'm not mistaken, but they are solidly in for next season. And at the bottom, Postgame Strong and Team Small Brain, two of the teams that will be trying to figure out who's getting where. If Team Small Brain loses their matchup against the Team Black Diamonds, which we expect them to do, honestly, then they're out. They're that second team joining Mind Games Esports at the very bottom of the standings to go out of the season and having to requalify for next one. If they win, then it's getting interesting. Then it's in the Postgame Strong to win against Mind Games Esports.
Yes, exactly. Of course, if Postgame Strong win against Mind Games, then there's not much the Team Small Brain can do, sadly.
Nothing.
Although it's actually a better situation than the last week of last season. Remember last season, it was like everything's sorted already. There's no real specialty, but one team still needs to be eliminated from this season. Is it going to be Postgame Strong? Is it going to be Team Small Brain? The only way to find out is to tune in next time, guys. I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. And that post-game Strong Mind game. Oh, I'm excited for that one. I think it's going to be scrappy, but it could be the real trampoline effect almost that post-game Strong need. Finish the season strong, and it's like the first few weeks never happened.
You're just gonna forget all about that.
Yes.
Well, it has been a long day. We had some at least one long series, really. I'm looking back at it. It's 2 sweeps and then Mind Games Esports taking 1 game of the bad dudes. But I think by this point, it's time for us to wrap it up just a little bit. So, as I mentioned, this will all be played for something. And that something, of course, is LAN Finals in Tallinn come November 23rd and 24th of November. CSGO, Rocket League, and Guns of Boom will be featured on the big esports stage in Tallinn for HyperTown Expo. If you want to participate in that, if you just want to buy tickets, then all you need to do is go to HyperTown.pro and see what's in store. What else can you do there besides watching esports? And there will be a lot of shows. I'm pretty sure the VR setups will be there again because the Maverick, who brought the VR to Riga this year, they're the Estonian natives, so they definitely will be there. Can't wait to experience that fantastic hydraulic chair. Haven't had the chance to get that going.
It's pretty good.
You said it was really messing you up, wasn't that right?
It was really weird. Like, it's super immersive. I actually, for once, I prefer less input because it meant I could focus more on what I was doing. But in terms of immersion, like, you can't get much better.
Right. Well, I'll be looking for that to check that out. If you're looking forward to that as well, then get your tickets, hypertown.pro, to get yourself perhaps a group ticket. Or if you're a student and you hold your student card, or if you're a family, you get discounts by coming in as that, this, or the other, I suppose. Again, all the information about the prices and discounts on the very site, hypertown.pro. Of course, if you want to participate in cosplay events, if you want to make a beautiful costume, dress as me, dress as Ireland, dress as a card from Rocket League or a ball from Rocket League.
Oh, I love that.
Applications, I do believe, are still open, and you have a chance to register and get your costume out there in time for Tallinn. Participate perhaps in Cosplay Alley, where just put a cosplay costume on a mannequin, or any other variety of ways you can display your arts and crafts. And if you can make it there, it's not a problem. It's completely understandable, but there's still a chance to win some prizes for you if you play CSGO or PUBG. Every single day for CSGO, you can participate in little skill challenges. For PUBG, it's every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. right here, Eastern European time, local time. Just go to BESL.pro to figure out how you can participate, what the prizes are, and those are BSL swag. I done it again. Swag. It just I can't possibly. Goodies. Exactly. Some goodies, and the biggest goodie of them all, of course, is a big prize for our sponsor Samsung, which is a brilliant monitor. If you want to get yourself some good screen space, do check out what you can do for that. One more thing before we go, though, our league.
Yes.
It is a special feature, never before shown on the broadcast, but we have a segment I would like to call Chuvas has made a meme.
Oh, okay.
And if you remember it previously, you might want to tune in to the stream and check out exactly what that meme is.
Let me tune in to twitch.tv/BESL Pro EE, which every follow would be appreciated. Wow, that's a meme.
That is
I love it.
The connoisseur of memes, Arleek immediately spots a meme and knows exactly what this is.
I like Chaos Neutralus.
Neutralus.
I think that might be my favorite one.
Oh, it is lovely.
That's amazing. That's going up. I'm gonna print it out A3 paper and just stick it above my bed.
We're gonna send it to you sooner or later. So, folks, thanks very much for watching. This has been a blast, really, and
Yes.
and there have been upsets. There have been some tears shed for sure. There also been have some fun had, and Arleek and myself, Jaro Jam, we thank you very much for watching, and I hope we meet again next week at 3 p.m. local time, because one more week of Rocket League needs to be played. There's still destinies on stake, and hey, it's just more fun Rocket League. So next week on Sunday, we'll see you there, and from this point on until the next week, keep playing more Rocket League, I suppose. See ya.
Ir mirkļi, kas nevar gaidīt. Paņem tos līdzi, lai kur tu būtu. Helio ITV televīzija, kas pielāgojas tev.
We're 1,000 miles from comfort. We have traveled land and sea. But as long as you are with me, there's no place I'd rather be. I would wait forever, exalted in the sea. As long as I am with you, my heart continues to beat. With every step we take, Kyoto to the bay, strolling so casually. We're different and the same. Gave you another name. Switch up the battery.
Helio piedāvā.
Mēs no tā visa varam uztaisīt kārtīgu weekend balīti. Tu esi Andris kā vecajos laikos.
Lai kādos piedzīvojumos tu dotos, Helio ITV un Shortcut vienmēr tev līdzi. Skaties, kur un kā vēlies.